Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining us at Gray Hughes Investigates, where location is evidence, and we use logic, reason, and common sense, which isn't common anymore, as you've found out recently. All right, there's Lance Twiggs. Somebody up above. Who was that up there? You threw me off. The only reason I'm late is because of them. They said something about like typo meant Twiggs, and I was like, where? I must have spelled it wrong somewhere. You know, because Twiggs isn't even right the way you spelled it. It's got two G's in it. So I figured, oh, I must have put just one G, and I went out there and I started looking around and I almost changed it to the G, and then I looked it up online, and no, it was two G's. And then I went, oh, well, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Then it tells that, and then it looks like she typed in, interesting that Wiggins was on, you know. Anyways, you have a typo. You have two of them. You have one with Wiggins, and then one, there's two G's in Twiggs. All right, there you go. All right. Anyways, yeah, hit that like button. You know what's weird is I was the first person to actually put out a video of this interview right here, and it didn't even get 1,000 views. And then every single other person who put out the same video got like 10s and 20s and 30,000 views. Yeah, I did it during the show, like I would recorded it as it happened, and then published it. And I didn't get any. Only got 800 views or something. What the hell's going on with that? It's just unbelievable, man. I have no idea. No, it's crazy. I was the first one to put the video out because I recorded it live, and then on the side, I just uploaded the video just as it was. Crazy. And if you missed the last show, we donated $500 to the Gary Sinise Foundation for the seriously wounded, or really, like badly wounded heroes. Yeah, it was cool. I put it up so quick that it didn't do me any good. I mean, it's unbelievable. I have no idea what YouTube's doing. I used to do that, and boom, I get like a ton of views. No, I got all the stuff. I have hashtags in it. I have the correct keywords. I have everything. It just doesn't work. I think YouTube has some sort of I don't know, man. Maybe some sort of a shadow banning going. I have no clue. They always say they don't do that, but it's hard to really understand, I mean, maybe it's up to you guys to go, oh, wow, look at this, and then share it somewhere, Maybe the other people, nobody, they're all waiting for their, the guy with 50,000 views of video to come forward and put their video out so they don't see the other people. Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it. No. Everyone else put the whole thing out there, same thing. Anyways, yeah, maybe a short, yeah, but see, I can't do a short and then everything while I'm doing my show. I was just thought, okay, I'll put this out there so people can just see what he just said. Now, well, I think they had more conversations than they said. I don't know if he knew that Tyler Robinson was going to do it. Although I thought it was kind of strange about the... he did sort of answer the question about engraving. It has like something about hunting or something. Why the engraving? Because apparently he was going to go hunting. It was a month before, and he thought, oh, he's just going to engrave something on. Maybe there's some kind of thing that they do. Yeah, I thought I've been putting out good stuff, and it just isn't. Nobody is seeing it. Like, wouldn't you? Let me just say this: wouldn't you think somebody would come forward and go, "Hey, Gray, wow. I mean, you actually have the location where he parked the car right before he did his dry run. I mean, his final run. Like, we actually have that location. Like, that would be sort of a significant piece of information. Because nobody knew where that was. Now we have that. We still don't know where it was parked before he did the dry run. Because that's a different location. I think I'm pretty much the only YouTuber out there that can just right on the will, just like boom, I can tell you the whole story and the entire case of like his movements around on campus that day. I can literally just say it. I think a lot of you could almost do it at this point because you've heard me say it so many damn times, right? But anyways, we're going to try to maybe we do some call-in stuff later. Like after we play, how about we play the Twiggs, this thing right here, and then we play the other, the when he's reading the messages, and then, see if people have some thoughts they can call in about. But you know what, you guys, I need your guys' support, even on this show here. Earlier, for the day, we're actually negative because of the, we did the $500 donation, which we do all the time, but it'd be cool to, somewhere get around break even or something, just so we're moving forward. So if you guys can help support the channel on the live stream, that would be great. I don't think it was, Ryan. I think, you got a lot of people make shit up, man. That's just stupid. All right, here we go. We're going to go right here. And maybe Cindy, if you feel like you can, I'm not an expert. If I was an expert, I guess I'd be doing great. I just have tried all the things that you're talking about. I've done the shorts. I've done the, in various times, and it just nothing seems to work.
Is to use your.
I kind of changed the contrast a little bit, so it's not so bright. I think he looks weird as hell, man. He looks like he doesn't even have any eyebrows or something. It's just
statement here instead of your testimony at a preliminary hearing. Understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in order to do that, I need to place you under oath and also give you an admonition about false statements. Okay. First, you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
I also need to notify you that you are notified that statements you are about to make may be presented to a magistrate.
At this point, I just think you're an idiot, Pointed. You're just one of those people that has no clue what the hell you're talking about.
Or a judge in lieu of your sworn testimony at a preliminary examination.
I mean, I'm happy to piss off idiots like Pointed, whatever the hell his name is there, okay? I really don't give a damn. I mean, you guys are the morons of social media.
Any false statement you make and that you do not believe to be true may subject you to criminal punishment as a Class A misdemeanor.
Look at that passive-aggressive dick right there. He comes in and goes, hey, at this point, you've pissed off everybody. So then I go back at him and he goes, exactly my point. Is this why I'm supposed to go, you are so great. Just block that idiot, okay?
You understand that?
Yes.
It potentially could be used as punishment as a higher offense as obstruction of justice.
Yeah.
In addition, I just want to make sure that our recording here is clear that you've also been given a federal agreement and a state agreement.
See, but if you listen to the agreement here, it's not the greatest agreement in the world,
Granting you immunity from prosecution for materials that you discuss now. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First, we're going to cover some of the things that we've already talked about, but to make it as part of this record. First, what's your name?
Full name with middle name or just first and last?
First and last is fine.
Okay, my name is Lance Twiggs.
And do you know Tyler Robinson?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
What would be the pause? Do you know Tyler Robinson? And then Yeah, well, what do you mean, well, There's no well, It's like, let me hear that again. What the hell are you talking about?
As part of this record. First, what's your name?
Full name with middle name or just first and last?
First and last is fine.
This guy's one of those idiots that overthinks everything.
Okay, my name is Lance Twiggs.
And
Are you sure about that? Because he asked you the first time and you went,
do you know Tyler Robinson?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yes, I do. Well, yes, I do. What was that hesitation pause thing there?
And this is the same Tyler Robinson that's been charged with the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
You guys were having sex together. I mean, you don't know if you would know him? Well, yeah, and you live together, for God's sakes.
Yes.
You texted each other how much you loved each other.
And would you say when you first met Tyler?
I think it was 2023. I've known him longer than that, though. That was, I think, the first time I met him in person.
Okay.
He was not going to say very good.
And will you describe your relationship with Tyler?
Let me go watch that again. I can't. I don't see that.
Name.
Full name with middle name or just first and last?
First and last is fine.
Okay, my name is Lance Twiggs.
I guess if two people say that, let's see.
And do you know Tyler Robinson?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
He didn't say he went He went He didn't say like very. He's not saying very.
But to make it,
I guess that would make sense though if he was about to say very good, because then he wanted to pause so it wasn't like, wow, you guys knew each other really well, in the interview.
as part of this record. First, what's your name?
Full name with middle name or just first and last?
I thought it was just like
Last is fine.
Okay, my name is Lance Twiggs.
And do you know Tyler Robinson?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
Like, I don't see his lips making the V where you put the lower lip underneath your teeth, kind of. So I don't know. I don't see that.
And this is the same Tyler Robinson that's been...
What do you mean you heard very well? That's bull crap. He doesn't say very well. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. You guys said he was maybe about to say very. And you got somebody in here, I also heard very well. This is what's wrong with the true crime community right here. People start hearing things that were never said because somebody suggested something. Okay, maybe he was going to say very, right? But you sure as hell didn't hear him say very well. I can tell you that right now. You did not hear him say that.
Been charged with the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
And would you say when you first met Tyler?
I think it was 2023. I've known him longer than that, though. That was, I think, the first time I met him in person.
Okay. And will you describe your relationship with Tyler when you first met him anyway?
Yeah, we know he's chewing gum because he takes it out.
When I first met him, I didn't know him super well. He was just a new roommate.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and he doesn't put his lower lip below his teeth to say V. So I think he's just saying, like kind of like he's not really sure.
So, I knew he knew my friend group.
Hey, who the hell uses friend group? That's just so like indoctrinated school talk. Like who in the hell really out in the real world? Hey, he doesn't hang out with my friend group. That's just what a weird thing to even say,
That's about it when we first...
I bet none of you ever used that.
Like when he first moved in.
Okay.
Well, he hangs out in my friend group.
Was muted at the outset.
Yeah, millennial bullshit talk. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to repeat those admonitions just to make sure we got it recorded.
This is them echoing, not me.
Again, I place you under oath. Just to make a record, I'm going to do it again. You do solemnly swear that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I'm going to pause it because you see how Wild Bill typed in, let's get a wave going. And then it just went, and then the only person is Alley Kick, who always seems to be the one who joins in. So how about we get the rest of everybody to join in, and let's get the ball rolling tonight.
Yes.
And again, I'm going to give you the false statement.
Sorry, hold on. If they're saying that it's echoing, so
I think this one's mic is on.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, you don't have to mute my mic. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we should be good. All right.
See, it was them that was echoing.
Is that mic on?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
All right, okay, sorry about that interruption. All right, so you said when you first met you were roommates?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point, your relationship progressed to something more than just roommates, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
I think we started dating 2 or 3 months after he moved in.
Okay.
Okay, so he admits that.
And where did you live at that time?
St. George, in an apartment complex.
And is that apartment the same place you lived when on September 10th?
Yes.
When you lived there with Tyler, were you in the same room? Did you live in the same room or different rooms?
No, separate rooms.
And at that time, let's say September of 2025, what were you doing with your life? Were you working, school?
I was working. I was doing like bathtub and shower repair and stuff in new construction.
Okay. How about Tyler?
I think he was both working.
Okay. How about Tyler? What were you doing with your life? Were you working, school?
I was working. I was doing like bathtub and shower repair and stuff in new construction.
Okay.
Yeah, but why are you doing bathtub repair in new construction? Or is he saying and new construction? Bathroom repair, but it sounded like you said in new construction.
How about Tyler?
I think he was both working. I think he was working for an electrician
I mean, usually
company.
the bathtubs come pretty
Then,
good in
and
a
he
new
was
house.
also in a trade school for being I don't know, higher like ranking electrician. I'm not sure how the trade system works for that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he was both.
What was his typical work day like?
I think he'd leave around 7 generally and get back around 3 to 4, depending on like where the job was and how long it was for the day. And then on certain days of the week during school, like semesters, he would then later in the day, I think around 5 or 6, go to school. So, yeah.
Okay. Let's jump to September 10th. Did he spend the night in the apartment the night of September 9th into September 10th?
Into September. Yeah, he did. Yes.
Do you know when he left the apartment on September 10th?
I don't know an exact time. I just know he left early. I heard him leaving, and he just said he had a long drive to work that day, so he was leaving early.
Okay.
Yeah, long drive to work, yeah. It's like a 6 or 7 hour drive.
Okay, so early. Any guess as to what?
But he got there, he must have left, when he says left early, I mean, he was, I don't know, man. That should have been like, wow, where are you going? Let me see, hold on a second. I just guess, it's kind of a general. Yeah, it's 275 miles, so 60, like a 5. I'd say like a 5-hour drive. So for him to be at 8:28 or 8:22 driving that car around, he would have had to leave at 3 in the morning or something. I mean, that's a little early to just go, yeah, he left early. That's ridiculous.
When that was?
I don't know. I would have thought it was 5 a.m. because that's when like an early work day was for him, but it was probably more like 4.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, that makes sense. Ish.
Okay.
I guess that time in the morning, you could probably drive that many miles in 4 hours because there's nobody going to be out there.
I'm going to have him spit out his gum just to make sure that
I can do that.
your tissue right in front of your laptop.
So that was truthful there. He actually thought about it and went, yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you.
I bet it was early, like 3:30 or so.
Thank you.
All right, so what time did you get up on September 10th?
Probably like 12 to 1 p.m.
You didn't have to work that day?
No.
And did you hear from Tyler? Did he call or text you before then?
No, he sent that message in the group chat I mentioned, but he didn't message me directly at all that day.
Okay. When did you first hear from him on September 10th?
It was at 11 o'clock with that, like, automated message.
Okay, 11 p.m.?
Yeah.
Wow, so that 11 p.m. message, I mean, the message saying, look under your keyboard, was 11 p.m. But I thought he was already texting him. I don't really, oh, wait a second. Yeah. I don't even get it. That doesn't make any sense. They were already texting prior, right? Like, they were texting, I thought they had been texting, you know, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, all that time. But was really the first one at almost midnight? I mean, that's kind of bizarre if that's the truth. I mean, 11 o'clock, right? Well, they know he can't lie in here or he'd get busted for it, so. I thought they were sort of texting throughout the day. But hey, guys, how do we get the support for the channel up right now? As you can see, we're currently at $3.99. Does that seem reasonable? So if you guys have the ability, that would be awesome. No channel gifted memberships or nothing.
What about, he asks you here, remember how I was engraving bullets? Was he engraving bullets before this?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when, but he had said he was planning to go hunting with his
How come we can't see these pictures? Like, this video. Like, what was the thing that...
family. And he asked me for if we had a Dremel because he said he wanted to engrave messages on bullets. And I just told him where our Dremel was.
Yeah, there was weirdos in earlier like, oh, he looks pretty. He looks cute. And it's like, what plant? I mean, look at, I swear to God, like, I guess I don't really know what somebody, looks like because I'm a guy, but, he doesn't look like a normal human. He looks weird, okay? So for you guys to sit there and go, oh, yeah, I mean, that's kind of creepy itself. I mean, he's attractive to you? That guy? Wow. He's got nice cheekbones, I heard.
I told him to make sure he doesn't, set off a bullet on accident in the house. But I didn't really think about it until then.
How long before September 10th was this that he asked about the Dremel?
I don't remember, because he'd been talking about the hunting/camping trip for a couple months.
Yeah, so maybe he thought that.
But I don't remember when he was specifically asking to engrave the bullets. So
are we talking like a year before?
Oh no, not that long. It would have been, I'd say, at most a month before this was when he was asking.
I don't think he's going for any look at all. That's just what he looks like.
Okay. Right. You talked about the note that he left. I want to bring this up, and I should say that these text messages that we've been
yeah, so we'll try to do call-ins if we get to 100, we'll do call-ins. Okay, we're at $3.99. If we don't get to 100, I'm not doing call-ins because call-ins make it almost impossible to reach any kind of goals at all. So there you go. There's the goal at the top. Maybe I'll set that one. Let's see. What do we got here? We got we need 20 super chats at that number. Give you guys like an hour, and then we'll hit the. I don't know. Does that work? Not sure where the bottom part is where I can. Oh wait, let's see. Yeah, because I'm not going to do it if that's where we're at, because I've done the call-ins, and when we do the call-ins, there's like 0 support for the channel. So, all right, here we go.
Looking at here are Bates number 54. Okay, the notes have been titled 16.3 with a note, and this is Bates number 58. Do you recognize that on the screen there?
Yeah.
What do you recognize it as?
That was the note under his keyboard that he was referring to in the first text of that chain.
Okay, so where did you find this?
On his desk underneath his computer keyboard.
Yeah, we know, Anakin, we know. He said that was the first one that he got. That doesn't make any sense, because they had been talking, I thought, prior to that. But if it was 11 p.m., that's wild. That means it's really late in the evening. So that whole conversation happened between like 1 and 1:30 in the morning. Thanks, Wild Bill Wassman.
I assume you read it.
Yeah.
And then what did you do with it after you read it?
I believe I just put it back down on the desk after I took a picture of it.
Okay. And again, the time you read it was probably around 11 o'clock or so on the 10th.
Yes.
The night of September 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And did you ever see that again after you placed it back on his desk?
No, I don't think I did.
And that was a desk in his bedroom?
Yes.
And that's a separate bedroom than your bedroom?
Yeah.
And now I want to go to what's been titled 16.2. And do you recognize this series of messages here?
But why can't we just look at him looking at the message?
Yeah, that was the server of his friend that I was mentioning.
Okay, and this is your phone again?
Yeah.
I think it's ludicrous. I wish I was a judge.
And I'm assuming you recognize it because the big crack up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a server. Is this Discord?
Yeah, this is Discord.
And who are members of this server? I don't want names, just generally. Who are these people? Members of
this is his friend group. They play D&D together every week.
Okay. And I just want to scroll through this to make sure that you get a chance to take a look at it. Or go to the next page.
Mm-hmm. Or yes.
So, Tyler Icom, who's that?
That's Tyler Robinson.
And these other people are just others that are members of the server?
Yes.
Jug, Barnaby, Marina, DM.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, DM means Dungeon Master. So these are most of them are names they're using in the game they're playing currently.
Got it.
Yeah. I heard he was attentive, looking at the screen.
Yeah, it looks like the last text from Tyler, it looks like it's 8 p.m.
I would hope he would do that.
Do you know what day this would have been? 8 p.m. on the 10th or the 11th?
First time he's seen
I would
him in a long time.
think that would be the 11th. Because at least I think so, because I don't think on the 10th that he messaged anyone.
What's that face for, Cindy? Why you got that face?
So.
And he turned himself in on the 11th, right?
I thought so, yeah.
So again, we're just going to go through this so that we have a record of the messages.
Yeah, my brother used to. Smart people play Dungeons and Dragons, but then there's also lunatics. Some turn into lunatics.
Is that an accurate recording of that thread?
Like my brother and his friend, they're both my
yes.
brother's a doctor. They used to
And
play
that
it all
was
the
sent,
time.
looks like between September 10th and September 12th. Looks like the last day on this is September 12th. Screen.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're a kid. When adults play stuff like that, it's kind of weird. I mean, not really that bad, but I mean, it's just...
Right,
I mean, I know some people that
again,
still
those
play
messages covered from September 10th to the evening of September 11th. Now, September 11th, what time did you see However on September 11th?
Yes.
When did you first see him on September 11th? So this is the day after the shooting.
Yeah, I saw him when I woke up. Like I said, he was up and around doing a lot of stuff around the house. And then I think I saw him after that message where I said I'll come home and say I'm doing laundry, because I didn't want him going to my parents' house right then when he said there was probably cops outside. So I went back home, and it was just him there.
You know, I know what it is. He has no, like, facial movement muscles or anything. Like, it's just, there's nothing. Like, I can't even picture him smiling or anything.
And I said bye to him, and then he drove off.
Like, his face is frozen.
So I just went back to my parents' house.
Thank you, Carolyn. And up there to Alley Cake.
So he acted erratically. Was he pacing? Was he just sitting down, relaxing?
No, he was walking around a lot.
Right, and that's within the home.
Mm-hmm.
And did he talk about what he had done?
Didn't go into detail. I just asked him in person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. I started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it.
You know, see, when I hear that, it makes me think of, you know, there's a portion over, let me show you. Is it this one? Can't remember which one this is here. Is it 46? Yeah, this one's the good one. So it kind of makes me think of this portion right here. And I really believe that what we're seeing here is exactly what I'm going to tell you we're seeing. So he's walking in this direction, and I've always thought this. And right here is his, he goes, I don't know, God. Ah, shit, I gotta go. I mean, I planned it all. And he goes and does it. See, right there, I think he had a moment he could change his mind, because that's campus now. And he's just going to go do it. But I think there was just that little pause where he thought, oh, man. You know? And it ended up, it didn't feel the way he thought it felt, and I think it's possible. I mean, here's the thing. It doesn't matter to me that it made him feel bad later. He still planned it all out and did this shit. Okay? So it doesn't really matter at all. But I think what Twiggs is saying matches what we see right there, and I've always said that that's what he's doing right there. You're right, exactly. I've called that this point of no return, where once he steps on that grass, that's campus. And then he goes, yeah. I mean, you can even see it the way he does it. Watch that, how he does that. Just kind of picture something like in your own life. Like, If you look at, watch. He slows down. He's like right there, and he's like, right there, and he's like, yeah, shit. I gotta do it. Just like that. I think that's exactly what he's doing there. The problem is we'll never be able to know, because he's never going to tell us that. You know? We're never going to get to know the answer to that.
In person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. I started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it.
I mean, it's amazing right there, right? The point, the point of no return, like Lori said, and I said earlier on the earlier show, it's like just think of how the world, the path not taken. That's almost exactly what you're looking at right there. There's this little moment in time. Had he just listened to that, whatever it was that told him to turn around, it would have been all this stuff. I mean, look at the absolute disaster that Tyler Robinson caused. I mean, it almost makes you like, just think about it. You had this young, up and coming sort of conservative guy that was really speaking to young people a lot. That movement's gone, man. I don't really get. He was the guy, you know. I think it's just sort of hovering now, where he was lifting it up into the stars. He had it. He might have ran for president. So he dies, and then you have Erica Kirk and all their children and everything. No dad anymore. And then look at the hell that Erica Kirk has had to go through because of people like Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, the nut jobs of social media, just going on and on. Thousands, millions of people just hating on these people. And it's just, it's absolutely incredible. And then all the money, look at that spent on this trial, all the stuff that's going on, all because, I mean, it's so weird, but if you go to right there, number 46, you just look back at this little moment here again, and I think it's right there. It's like all the hell happened right now. Right at that second. Right at that second is what all of this stuff happened. Because that's the moment his conscience didn't let him leave, and he said, I got to do this. And he went and did it. Isn't that bizarre? That's absolutely crazy. God, it's just so weird. It's like almost like so much tragedy and just devastation of a whole bunch of different things because of that one moment in time.
Kept going around and
what does gum have to do with what we're talking
doing
about?
stuff, I think, to keep himself busy or distracted or something.
Okay. Did he talk about what he was going to do next?
I know. There's a lot of people that don't think that. I do. I think he acted absolutely alone. I used to think there was that car that pulled him behind it, but that we just found out that's not. Hey, thank you, Betty Black.
Eventually said that he would talk to his parents or turn himself over.
Okay. And when you left, was that how you left, understanding that he was going to turn himself in or go to his parents' house?
Yeah, and I didn't really want to be at our apartment while any of that was happening, regardless of what went down.
Okay. Okay, before he came home, had you...
The people who say Tyler didn't act alone have zero evidence at all that he acted, that he said he didn't act alone. Have zero evidence that he didn't act alone. Zero. There's absolutely zero evidence of any kind. Other than, his boyfriend was, a furry. Hey, thank you, Betty Black. A furry type. And he seems to have killed Charlie Kirkby in sort of defense of somebody like that. And maybe he was communicating with people on Discord, etc. But I think he's... how about this? I'll say this. I think it's certain that he's all by himself there. There's nobody else on campus helping him out or doing anything. He's the one who did it all. Was he inspired by somebody on Discord? I'm like 50-50 there. There's like these conversations, the crazy stuff that the left says all the time. Equating people to Hitler and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It all got to him. So he did it. He is the tool of, so the thing is you got these lefty wackos, and I'm sorry if you happen to be a Democrat in here, but you've heard it, right? When they call Trump a Nazi, which is just almost hilariously stupid. I mean, they actually have literal Nazis in their party, Platner. with swastikas, etc. Oh, but if I put a tattoo over it, I'm not one anymore, but I'm pro-Palestine. The guy's a freaking nut job, okay? So you have these people saying all these things all the time. And eventually it gets through to people. Thomas Crooks, Tyler Robinson. That's just what happens. These people believe that they're saving the world by getting rid of these people. And they're sold that by, these hardcore wackadoodle lefties. Okay, it's just the truth. Now, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm just telling you the truth. And, I know that if you're on one side or the other, you like to defend and go, oh, that's bullshit, Gray. I didn't come here to listen to, I don't care, all right? The truth is what I just said.
Seen the press releases, any of the media on this?
I'd seen one Instagram link a friend of mine had sent in our group chat, but I hadn't really looked into it at all.
And had you seen the images that were released?
Yes, every single recent shooter thinks they're saving the world because the media has portrayed Trump like he's Hitler's second coming, which is so insanely stupid. And it shows you that Trump derangement syndrome is a real disease. It should actually be part of the DSM-5, right below psychopath. It's absolutely incredible. They'll just see things however they want to see it, as long as it makes the guy that they hate so much seem the way that they want him to look. It's just unbelievable. I don't like every single thing that he does. I don't like some of the way he talks sometimes. I don't like the way he tweets every second. I think a lot of us feel the same way. But overall, I think he's done great. It's crazy. These people are nuts out there. And of course, let me ask you something. If somebody told you this, hey, listen, they whisper, hey, I can send you back in time and you could take out Hitler, you'd probably go do it. You'd go do it. If you could see into the future and you could see, let's say in 1939, you could see into the future and you knew what Hitler was going to do, you would go do it. You'd take him out, right? That's just the reality of it. So when you're sitting there, the Democrats are telling people that this is an existential threat to our democracy. He is like Hitler, etc. You keep saying it over and over again, and eventually it's going to get through to some of the unhinged people. And even the ones that aren't unhinged, supposedly, they believe in that shit because they have Trump derangement syndrome. All right, thanks a lot. All right, here we go. Let's get back to this.
The suspect.
I did the next day. I don't think I saw any on the 10th.
I'm going to show you a couple of those images.
Hey, thank you up there to Mindy Mouse. Yes, I am. I'm literally telling you the
FBI's website. You can see the URL there at the top. This is some press release about this event.
I've seen
and
it.
Here on the screen, you see these. Looks like there's 2 rows of 3 images.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recognize the person in these images?
I wouldn't say it with a...
Hey, we're making good progress. We need 53 more to get to the phone call stage. If we
100% certainty just because of camera quality, but that looks like him in terms of the shoes he's wearing, the sunglasses.
Just say it's him, for God's sakes. You know what he looks like.
I don't think I'd specifically seen him wearing that hat, but he was usually wearing a hat, and then jeans, so it definitely, especially the bottom, the last 2, definitely do look like him.
Okay, and so here's what we've got. You've got Tyler Robinson's parents, who literally said, that looks like our kid, enough to actually start calling people. And then we have Twiggs, who is dating the guy. They're actually boyfriend, girlfriend. He says that's him. But you know who knows what he looks like more than those 3? The Candace Owens followers. They'll tell you that that's not him. Look at that. He's got this and this and this and this. But wait a minute. His mom and dad said it's him, and so does his boyfriend. And you're going to say that these people think that they know what Tyler Robinson looks like more than people who are his loved ones. They're idiots. All of them. Every single one of these people. That's why people don't watch you,
like
Gray.
Tyler
You're so
Robinson.
mean to people.
And you talked about that with your friends, right? This is like him.
Yeah, his friends. Yeah, I don't know if I talked. I don't remember if I talked about it with any of my friends. And then since I didn't have my phone after that for a while, and I still am not using social media, I don't know on my friends' end.
Okay. All right, I want to back up a little bit now. We've talked about September 10th, but let me get a little bit of context here. So, did you game with Tyler?
Yeah.
What kind of games?
We played some just kind of party games together.
We played role-playing games.
Multiplayer with a group of friends. There was one game he really liked called...
I would dress up as a furry, and then we do some role-playing games. You know, a little cat and mouse, as it were.
Sea of Thieves, where you play as like a pirate, and you can you can fight against people, but most of it's just like fishing, fighting sharks, skeletons, kind of stuff. We played some.
You know, like my son, he worked over at this store, and in the food department, and this person came up. Yeah, I live in Portland. Okay, came up with a. So I think it was like a female and then a male humanoid wearing a dog outfit and had a leash around his neck. And then, you know, like they come up to order. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. They go up to order food, right? See, this is what the left has made us want to believe is okay, right? So they walk up to the counter and my son goes, "Hey, what can I get you to the guy in the dog outfit?" And she goes, "Oh, he doesn't speak, you know." And so then she ordered and stuff, and that's kind of the way I don't know what you're supposed to do. I mean, here's the thing: if I had somebody like that, I'd start doing a fake bark like, and they go, "What are you saying?" I asked them what he wanted to eat in dog, you know, and they didn't answer, so I'm not giving them anything. They're a fraud. You know, I just don't understand this shit, man. Why in the hell did this ever become a thing? All right? I don't mind if somebody wants to be whatever, but don't make the rest of society be affected by what you think you should get to say that you are. It's crazy. That's exactly what happened with... I think anybody out there who was for... men competing in women's sports and we're out there going, yeah, it's okay. You should be ashamed of yourself. You set women's sports back. You took spots from women who worked their asses off. Women worked too hard to get to the positions that they got in and competition. And then guess what? You let guys screw it up again. All right. I've been saying this for 7 or 8 years now, way before anybody was talking about it.
Co-op games where it's like you both have to work together to win in whatever way. Way back when I was just out of high school, when I first knew him online, we played some like shooting games together, but I didn't know him very well, so that was just when we had like a whole friend group on to play, and he was someone that my friends invited.
Okay. Did you and he ever talk about politics?
He did more than me. I don't really keep
Yeah, it's
up
called
with
gender
politics very
dysphoria.
much.
It's actually in the DSM.
He'd usually talk about stuff he heard on the radio on his drive to work in like their work car, since it sounds like their whole crew went in the same car most of the time. But I wouldn't say super consistently, because it wasn't a topic I really contributed much on.
Who? What are you talking about?
Charlie Kirk. Did you ever talk about Charlie Kirk?
What do you mean roommates and teammates? What do you mean?
I personally had never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk before specifically.
All right, guys, we have no gifted channel memberships, and we're still not. We need 48 more. Hey, look at that. What was that? What did we just see there? Betty Black gifted 5. Wow. Okay, so that gets us to like, I don't know. I guess we need $30 more or something, maybe.
Okay. How about
I know, isn't that nuts?
political issues? So did you ever talk about gender identity issues and LGBT?
You know, look at the judge. This judge, I think, is he's weak as shit. I thought he was like, I like some of his decisions, but once this came to he's going to let the defense run all over him. And the fact that it would take him a month to rule on this case is a joke. You know that one attorney for Erica Kirk? He got up there and he said, hey, you know, this is really obvious. Because it is obvious. This is one of the easiest damn probable cause cases you've ever seen in your entire life. If he rules some other way, he should be prosecuted himself. I mean, that is incredible.
LGBTQ rights.
No.
Somebody literally... Oh, wait, let me show you this, by the way, while we're still waiting here. Just a second. Preliminary... I'm not waiting, but just trying to play this. Look at this comment that some idiot made over here. Some guy named Raven. Not our Raven, but a different one. He said, Tyler remains innocent because there's no probable cause here. To prove probable cause, they would have to prove that he was there and had a motive, which was so far no video evidence proves it's Tyler. The video clips and evidence of the car he drove contradicts itself. The car in the parking garage, they say, is his, isn't the one they towed from his parents' house. Different hoods, different gas cap. Well, it had the same license plate, you moron. Different from the different front end. See, this is just garbage. These people's brains, you know, it's crazy. He probably was listening to Baron Coleman. One had a license plate frame, one didn't. And that's just the car. Never mind the splice videos and missing time in the videos that supposedly showed Tyler. The person they say is Tyler in the stairwell has different backpacks at different times. Well, hey, wouldn't that make sense, you moron, that he would use those to, throw people off. That's why he had different color shirts, etc. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. The person they say is Tyler in the stairwell has different backpacks at different times. The limp he walks with changes legs. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. There's so much evidence. And the only reason it would change is because they had that one video flipped horizontally. That would cause a problem in that when you watch him go out. There's so much evidence showing it wasn't hum. There's not enough evidence for probable cause to bring him to trial. I mean, have you ever heard anything dumber in your life than that right there? Hey, 78 months. Wow. That's 78 months of hell, right? I mean, what is that? 6.5 years. Jessica Schubach. Thank you, Jessica Schubach. All right, here we go.
Not really. Usually if he did talk about politics stuff, it was relating to Trump or current, policies being, issued or voted on, I think. But, yeah.
Okay, they fast forwarded here. I'm waiting for this one part that I wanted to...
Okay, so before that you have been.
Okay. All right. Here he goes. I know exactly what was just asked. Hold on. So were you guys, sexually active at some point?
Okay, so before that you have been.
For a short time, yes.
Okay.
I guarantee you that was the question asked right there. How much you want to bet? I would bet you money that's what was asked. So you guys were dating and sexually active?
Okay, so before that you have been.
For a short time, yes.
Okay.
And I understand you're going by Luna at some point.
See, they're talking. That's what they're talking about. This kind of stuff. Were you and him involved in a romantic relationship?
To some people, yeah, but not as an overall thing.
What do you guys think? Don't you think that's what was said there? Wow, 63 months. That's right. You left for a while, but I forgot what your name was originally. I remember, have you had that same icon the whole time? Because I do remember that. That's what's so funny. I don't think that line was supposed to be left in there that we just heard. Yeah, we know he spit out his gum. That was a long time ago. Nope, so somebody else must have had that purple, that same rose thing there.
Okay. Okay,
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it could have been something like that. Like a furry. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely could have been something like that. Or were you transgender? That's what I was actually thinking earlier today when I heard it. Like, so were you like transgender? And he goes, well, for a little bit there, but not anymore. I guess we could go back and try to listen to that one more time. Is it right here, this one? I think it's right here. There you go. All right, so, you know, like, how about let's do that one? Have you been transgender for a while, or?
okay, so before that you have been.
No, but he says you had been. Okay, so that's.
Okay, so before that you have been.
So yeah, to me that means like it's more like like they were dating and they were had been. Like I guess you could say, were you furry? Were you a furry? Dressing up as a furry creature.
Okay, so before that you have been.
For a short time, yes.
Okay.
Okay, it could be that. Yeah, that one actually makes a hell of a lot of sense, really. Okay, so it's something like that, though. Something related to. Yeah, maybe had been a woman. Yeah, could be something like that too. But I thought you can't fix it. How does he not one now? Isn't that against their, the teachings?
Sure. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have for this portion. Let me check and see if I've missed anything. The Dremel that you talked about, you said he had asked for that, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And had he told you it was to inscribe bullets?
Yeah.
And so did you have a Dremel then?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in our, our apartment, we had a section where we kept all our, random tools for household stuff in our, lower basement level pantry. So, yeah.
Okay. And did you give that to him or tell him where it was?
I just told him where it was, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording for the 1102 purposes.
Now, so they had the funeral on the 13th. I was just looking through some of my old folders here. That's crazy. There's where there's audio files, signatures there, but there's nothing happening. Oh no. All right, and then I guess we could listen to because we still got a ways to go, you guys. We have a, so we're actually at about 75%. So we need 5 more gifted memberships up there to get to the phone call stage.
All right, Agent, I'm not going to go through every single message, but I do want to have you read aloud certain portions of them. And I apologize to council, these are not actually given a page number. I have page numbers, but I'm happy to confer that we're on the same page as we go. So here we're looking at page 1 of State's Exhibit 16.1. If you could read a little more than halfway down where it begins Wednesday, 11 p.m. Will you start reading underneath that?
Yes. So this would have been from Tyler. It says, drop what you're doing, look under your keyboard.
And I apologize, let me stop you there. How do you know that that message would have been from Tyler Robinson?
That's just, so any of the messages in gray would be.
So look at, you can see up here, this is 7 p.m. on whatever day that is. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake again, and Wild Bill Wassman again. It's always those two. I mean, it's almost like they're tag teaming on the side, like, hey, here it comes. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, right? Something still work for you? And then it says, love you too, hope, works, going well, I love you, much, moi. I mean, these guys are like, actually dating almost. I mean, like a real thing, like a boyfriend, girlfriend. And then all of a sudden, it says, drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard. And that, I guess that was an automatic text at 11. So interestingly, this is, I didn't realize this, but every one of the text messages is from 11 o'clock at night on. So that means, you know what? Okay, so now I understand it better now. It makes more sense. It actually gives more validity to the text message exchange. And then look, he goes, I tried to delete that. He didn't mean to have that sent. You know what I'm saying? Drop what you're doing, look on your keyboard. What? You're joking, right? I didn't mean to send that. Yeah, I meant to delete that. But here's the thing. So he's like around there at 11 o'clock at night, and that accidentally got sent. Now he's got to ask, answer questions. Isn't that interesting? I think that's pretty interesting. Hey, thank you up there to Tracy Von Brott and Skeeters with the 5 gifted memberships. Very cool, very cool. No, it is. Well, it's the first time. Well, I don't know if it's the first time that day because there's these other ones here. Oh, those are Wednesday. Okay, so this is also that day too. Oh, that's really crazy. So these are ones that he sent to him, but he didn't realize that Tyler was in Orem. So you look at these ones. I love you, and that says Wednesday right there, right? So that's Wednesday, and it looks like 4:11 in the PM, and it says how much. Isn't that cool that you can just put a little contrast on it and read it a hell of a lot better? Or watch when I make it go back to 0. 85. That one's not too bad on that one. You can kind of see it. The ones above are really hard, though. I couldn't see what that said. These ones are just as good. Yeah, so that one says maybe 4:33 p.m. You can actually see the PM. Let me see what happens if I just barely kind of go like this. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. So 4:33 p.m. I love you. Moi, I love you. And that's it. That's all they had during that day. So that was 4:33. And then 11 o'clock at night, drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard. But here's the thing. Wouldn't you think that Twiggs would have contacted him somehow after the shooting or something? Wow, did you see what happened to, or maybe that really means that they didn't talk about that very much. And he talked about Kirk and other stuff with his other friend group on Discord. Well, no, I'm sure there's more. I mean, why do you just assume that? I don't know. I mean, this one says they probably were together, so there's no reason to text, right? So here's 7 p.m. Maybe that's the day before. That says Tuesday. So they just had I love you too, hope work's going. So that's from Tuesday, I guess. Then Wednesday says, I love you, mwah, mwah, like that's at 4:33 p.m. He thinks he's over at work. Okay, that's on Wednesday, but instead he's in Orem, Utah. And then this message gets sent that says, drop what you're doing, look under your keyboard. And then you know, we saw the message, actually. I have it, hold on. I saved it. I wasn't supposed, I don't know if I was supposed to, but hey, what the hell, huh? Let's see. It wasn't supposed to be shown in court, but I did save it. Let me see, I think I have it somewhere else. Just a second. And unfortunately, it's not the whole thing. There it is right there. See the stuff I do for you guys? My God. You guys are... You guys are so lucky. I'm the lucky one, all right? I'm just goofing around. All right, so here we go. Go over here, and it says, this is what the note said that was under the keyboard. Hey, Luna, if you're reading this per my text, you know, because that text got sent, then I'm so sorry. I left the house this morning on a mission and set out. I set an auto text. I'm likely dead or facing a lengthy prison sentence. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I took it. See, that's different, see? And I took it. See, they didn't, that's not how it worded. Remember how that was weird wording? Had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I took it. Now I gotta go look at something else now. Hold on. That's not the wording they used in the files, and it always sounded stupid to me. Where the heck is that thing? Is it one of these? This one? Is it in this one, maybe? I don't know if it's in this one. I think it's in this one, the charging document. There's the word, there was the word opportunity. And right there it says, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That just sucked. Remember that? Remember how stupid that wording was when we read that? I go, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. I thought, that's mixing up tenses. It doesn't sound right. That sounds weird. Why would you say I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and then I'm going to take it? You know, that doesn't make sense to me. So I remember reading that. You guys remember me saying that 50,000 times? Like, wow, that's sort of weird, right? You know, the tense doesn't make sense there. So then you go back over to the real document, and it makes complete sense. It says exactly how you would think somebody would say it. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I took it. Meaning he did it. It's totally different. That makes sense. Well, how come that? It's see, this is what I don't like by prosecutors. The little errors that they make. I hate it. There's no reason for it. Just write down exactly what the words are right there. You see them right there. Just write them down. That makes sense right there. I don't like that the 3 clips are flipped horizontally. Okay? And the way they present shit, it actually makes me angry because I wouldn't do that. You know? It's just, I wish I could put all of their exhibits together, and you know, you guys present it the way you do it with your legalese shit. I'll put it together, and it'll be a case that you'll win because I know what I'm doing. These people are, you know, just ridiculous. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I took it. I don't know if I will have succeeded, and I took it. So that's sort of similar. I mean, let me go back to the other one. But doesn't, honest to God, though, doesn't that make you angry, though? It's just, get it right, you guys. It makes you look like you're sloppy, and then, you know, somebody might go, what else were they sloppy about, you know? And then it gets then it gets dicey. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. And I took it. So why did you put I'm going to in there instead of I? It's just unbelievable. It's right there. I mean, when you're transcribing it, what made you put that in there? Man, I don't know, man. I don't know if I will have succeeded, but I had hoped to make it home to you. So he's thinking, he thought he couldn't figure out how to not send it. So it's like, oh shit. He meant to not send it and then go home. But it ended up being sent. Now he has to sort of answer the questions. So doesn't that make a little bit more sense on how this all started now, you guys? So for the people out there, they go, oh, I think that text exchange it's contrived. I think that's very little chance of that now. Very little chance. We're looking at something at 11 o'clock at night. You see what I'm saying? It's 11 o'clock at night. You know, Twiggs was confused. What are you talking about? You know, there was a letter. He sees it. And then down here it says, I wish we could have lived in, and then that part we didn't get to see. They didn't scroll down or anything. It's out there, though. I mean, that's on anybody who's playing it. This is out there. I just got it really quick so we could have it at the time, because it's hard to find that one little shot in an 8-hour show. It says, I wish we could have lived in, and that's it. Yeah, man, that sucks. Okay, now let's just play it. Yeah, I mean, we didn't see that before, right? I tried to delete that. Remember that? That's kind of a significant little piece.
As we go. So here we're looking at page 1 of States Exhibit 16.1.
Okay, but let me just ask you guys. Put a 1. Doesn't it make the text exchange extremely more non-contrived now that we know that all of it took place right after he sent that message from 11 in the morning until like 1, you know, and then going into the next day? It should, Jason. It should. I don't know where you come up with your answers sometimes. Yeah, it absolutely should. This is not, I don't think this message exchange is contrived at all, and nor will I take calls on that. If you want to sit there and try to go over and over and over, I'm not going to listen to it. All right? It's just not going to happen. I think that it is absolutely, you know, when you look at it, especially, there's this one part that I always tell people to, you know, really focus in on when you're looking at these. It's, hey, let me show you. It's right over here. I think it's when they do this. This part right here. See, when we see it later, but this part right here is the part that I have always told people, for me, is sort of the thing that goes, okay, this is genuine. It said right now that we know it's like at 11 o'clock and later, you know. Maybe you were saying no to something else. And it goes like here. You weren't the one that did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person, because remember on the news they had this other person they grabbed? And he goes, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I remember that guy too. He's had like a bike or something. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. And then Twiggs says, why? And then this whole paragraph right here is what Twiggs is commenting after. Like, look at all this stuff. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude. He interrogated someone else. I planned to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. And then Twiggs goes, why? So then you're going, which part? The part, like, why did they arrest the old guy? Why did they interrogate some guy that looked like had my clothing on or similar clothing? Why did they, and all this other stuff. And he goes, why? And then Robinson said, why did I do it? He was trying to clarify what the hell you're asking about. And then he says, yeah. Then he says, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence, going to attempt to retrieve it again. You see, if this was contrived, they wouldn't be that confused moment of what why meant. You would just be writing it like, you would just type it in, all this stuff, Why put this? Why not just say why? And then he goes, well, I had enough of his hatred. Why did there have to be this stuff where it says, why did I do it? Yeah. So there wouldn't be confusion in a contrived note. You would have just said, Twiggs would have said, why? I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be, you just would have went right there. See what I'm saying? All right. You get what I'm saying? Just telling you.
If you could read a little more than halfway down
That's
where
what
it
I'm
begins
saying.
Wednesday, 11 p.m., will you start reading underneath that?
Yes. So this would have been from Tyler.
Okay. I saw you put a 1 up. I wasn't sure. I mean, I don't, people don't have to agree with what I'm saying. It's just.
It says drop what you're
Think
doing,
through it a
look
little
under
bit.
your keyboard.
And I apologize. Let me stop you there. How do you know that that message would have been from Tyler Robinson?
That's just, so any of the messages in gray would be from Tyler, and messages in blue would be from Lance. It's just with the iPhone distinguishes
Oh, I guess the darker though is gray, and then this is blue.
the messages. And also Lance in his interview also acknowledges that, who was saying what.
And up at the top, who do we see that this thread is between?
Tyler.
All right, sorry to interrupt you. So read that again, starting from look under the keyboard.
So after that, then Lance responds. He says,
I wish you would say, like, okay, this is the time this one was sent.
what? And then he says, you're joking, right? And then Tyler says, fuck, I tried to delete that.
We could
Now,
scroll.
I actually believe that. I think that's actually real. Like, he was sitting there going, okay, still don't need to say anything. He wanted to be sent out if he didn't have the ability to stop it. Meaning somebody shot him or if he was arrested, then it would be sent out. And then Lance would know what he did. In this case, that didn't happen. He was still actively moving around. He just didn't know how to unstop the automatic email. How to stop the automatic email, not unstop it.
Scroll down to page 2. And if you can continue reading.
Hold on. Let's see. Does he do the whole thing up there? Because he keeps scrolling a little bit.
And if you can continue reading along.
Okay. And Tyler says, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. And then Lance replies, you weren't the one who did it, right? And Tyler says, I am, I'm sorry.
You weren't the one that did it, right?
Lance says, I thought they
That's
caught
my
the
audio.
person. And then Tyler says, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude and interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from the
Wait, hold on a second. You weren't the one that did it, right? I am, I'm sorry. I thought they caught this crazy old person. No, okay, let's see if they do that same.
drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering.
If we could scroll down to page 3. Continue reading.
Yeah, let's see if this is matching it at all. Okay, there's lingering, so it should start with why. Why'd you do it? The next one.
Lance says, why? And Tyler says, why did I do it?
Yeah.
And Lance says, yeah. Tyler says, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully, they have moved on. I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. We'll update you shortly, or sorry, we'll update you by midnight. And then Lance says, all right, stay safe. How long have you been?
Oh, interesting. So that was the... Let me go back a little bit there. That was something added there. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Come on, you guys.
And hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. We'll update you shortly, or sorry.
Huh. So that's like... that's a piece of evidence, or not evidence, some wording that goes right in there that we don't have. Let's see.
Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. We'll update you shortly, or sorry, we'll update you by midnight.
We'll update you by midnight. That line wasn't in the... I got the text exchange right here. Hold on, I'm going to throw that in there before I forget where that was. So that was... I haven't seen anything. Seen anything. There it is. Right there. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything in the news. Weird. So that... I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. We'll update you by midnight. Oh, so that is in here. So that was in... I'm not sure where that came from. That's so weird. That's crazy. Going to attempt to... Let's see. If I grab my rifle... I don't know. It's confusing. He said something about like 3... Hold on. Let me go back a little bit.
Attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on.
All right, moved on. Yeah, it's right there. Hopefully they've moved on. And then it says, I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. Does he say that next here?
I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. We'll update you shortly, or sorry, we'll update you by midnight.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's not in the probable cause document, but that's in those more recent documents that came out. All right, that's cool. So we have most of this.
And then Lance says, all right, stay safe. How long have you been planning this?
Scroll down a little bit, please, Kimberly.
And Tyler replies, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it.
We can scroll down to page 4 and continue reading about halfway down. I'll stop you about halfway down.
It says, while they were a spot, but I don't want to chance it while they were parked there.
This is new stuff right here, all of this, because all mine goes to is, I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Well, where is that part? Where is he saying that? On this page. You guys see that anywhere? He's reading that. He just read that. Let me go back to here.
Kimberly.
And Tyler replies, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. There. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it.
We can scroll down to page 4.
Okay, so this is all new.
Continue.
All of this here. I mean, I don't know what... Should I do it right now? Because it's just sort of like easy to do, but I can't like screen grab it. I have to type it. Is this Tyler, right? This is Tyler, right? The blue. So Tyler said something like, don't want to chance it. So what was the word above that? See, they're not going to read some of this, I bet. Spot, but I don't want to chance it. Oh, there it is. While. Oh, that's interesting. So there's more. Let me just get rid of that and put. Do you guys mind if I fill this in really quick? Want to chance it while they are parked there. If they had found it, I imagine there would be more commotion. Okay, got that. And then we go to the next one. Put that right there. I want to get all this though. Again, I'm so sorry for roping you into all this. I guess the only part that in the messages that I just go, when he said, that gun just does just fine, that sucked. Okay. That was like really, like that puts him in an evil zone at that point. That was weird. You shouldn't have to worry about this. Okay, then the next one is Lance right there. And then he said, does anyone else know? Let me see. Worry about this. Yeah, that's it. That's the only place it shows up. So it is just right there. And then Lance said, does anyone else know? And Tyler said, not to my knowledge. And then it's gonna be real effing annoying. And then let's see, what does that say? There it is. If I can't get this thing till like 3, then have to drink or drive. Drive back and still go into work. Hey, didn't you guys see the wave attempt up there by Alley Kick and Wild Bill Wassman? You know, you're really hurting their feelings when you don't jump in. You know what I mean? And you're also hurting my feelings too. Okay, so we're all going to cry together. And let's see. Did I get that one? Not to my knowledge. And then it's going to be, okay, we got that. And then the next one is Lance, right? He said, you are sure they aren't waiting to see if anyone comes to collect the gun? So that's like the first time that Twiggs sort of actively is communicating about, like, you know, almost sort of like, you know, talking about the gun and so forth. You see what I'm saying? Hey, thanks, 6 Kids UK. Literally 6 kids. Okay, this is Tyler, and then he said, you know, I've gotten close enough that they would have jumped me. This is pretty interesting, right? If they were waiting, and they would probably be more concerned with pulling prints off of it. All right. Let me hit save. Is there any more after that? So we'll listen to how they say.
Reading about halfway down. I'll stop you about halfway down.
This is while they were spot, but I don't want to chance it while they were parked there. If they'd found it, I imagine there would be more commotion. Again, I'm sorry for roping you into all of this. You shouldn't have to worry about this. And Lance replies, does anyone else know? Tyler says, not to my knowledge.
All right, I'll stop you there. Let's move to page 5. So this should be page 4, so just scroll down 1, please, Kimberly.
So some of that they didn't say. They didn't write, didn't read those out loud. So, okay, and then just stay safe. Lance says, just stay. Oh, so that's already in there once. Hold on. Just stay safe. I've already got that in here somewhere. And then what's he say after that? I will. I'm more. Wow. So some of this is in there, just in a different order. Like this is up above in the text messages. Interesting. Not sure what to do with that. I will. I'm more worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle.
And if you could read starting...
Oh, there's my B. My B?
Sorry, Kimberly, scroll a bit more down. If you could read, I don't know, about a 1/3 of the way up that starts with guess.
Okay. Tyler says, guess I'm just sitting in my car watching reels for another hour, hoping this guy fucks off.
And continue.
And Lance says, are you okay still? And Tyler says, yes, check and spot again now. Will.
Sorry, now we're on page 6. Continue reading.
We'll update soon. He continues, the squad car was moved further away enough that I should be able to move in. I backed off because I thought I heard footsteps, maybe a foot patrol, but the crickets here are so fucking loud. Gonna see if the road closer to campus is.
I don't know if I have any of this one. Do we have check-in spot again? Check-in spot. Yes, check-in spot again now. Will. Oh, that just sort of update. That's the end of it. Will update soon. And then, I'm sorry, but I think this might be it. So that's what I have next, man. But there's way more after that. God dang it. I'll just do this on my own. I'll put it all together. This kind of, now it's too long.
Gonna see if the road closer to campus is open so I can drive past and check shit out. Probably still closed off though.
I don't know where he was parked at 11 o'clock. He went to Dairy Queen at like 6, and then I was corrected on something. I didn't see the actual time, but it was like 12. Let me go over to the, I think it's right over here. When the vehicle was right here, I need to put a pin in there, by the way. Let's see. All right, so let me go over here. So we just go all over the place over here, you guys. We stream of consciousness. We figure shit out. I got it all in here. Okay, right there. So this is 12:36 on the 11th, just really early in the morning. It's 6 hours off. They're -6 UTC, and this is 6:36, so it'd be 12:36 a.m. So on here we can put a pin that says that his Dodge Challenger was right there at, and again, location is evidence. 12:36 a.m. 9/10/2025. Right there. And that's the, Dodge Challenger. Right there. Right? And it was about to turn right, but it didn't. So this is an hour and a half after the first messages. I guess what we could do, wasn't really doing it while we were just looking at this, but was there any points in here where there was more time associated, like time? I hate how there's not time on every message should have another time. Now there's no time codes. Stupid. Oh well.
To page 5. So this should be page 4. So just scroll down 1, please, Kimberly.
Yeah, the 11th, right.
And if you could read starting.
Yeah, the 10th. Well, I meant the 11th. If I said 10th, then I said it wrong. I don't know. I think I might have wrote it down wrong also. Yeah. The 10th is the day. So it's the 11th in the morning, and then they go over, these spots right here are just a little after that on the 11th. See that? 9/11/2026 at 12:47. So that means 11 minutes after that, they drove around and made it to the spot right where the wooded area is. See that? So the wooded area is right there, and then he drives by right here at 12:36, and he should have been able to get there quicker than 11 minutes. So he did something else. You know, who knows? Maybe he drove up in these neighborhoods again, and don't know. Thanks for fixing that. I'm not sure why I typed that in, but got a lot of stuff going in my head right this second. I think we were right there. There we go.
Sorry, now we're on page 6. Continue reading.
We'll update soon. He continues, the squad car was moved further away enough that I should be able to move in. I backed off because I thought I heard footsteps, maybe a foot patrol, but the crickets here are so fucking loud. Gonna see if the road closer to
Even though I wrote 10th, I would have always thought the 11th, because I know the dates that these.
campus is open so I can drive past and check shit out. Probably still closed off though. Getting worried, hard to know for sure, but I'm not finding my rifle. Could be in the wrong spot. Lance says, do you think they found it? And Tyler says, dunno, they haven't published anything if they have. And then Lance says, why did you leave it behind?
Oh, sorry, Kimberly, if you could scroll down.
Originally. Also, does it have a serial number?
What did you say? Let me go back.
Lance says, do you think they found it? And Tyler says, dunno, they haven't published anything if they have. And then Lance says, why did you leave it behind?
See, that right there verifies it too, because that is kind of like, why did you leave it behind? God, do we get the answer to that? That's a good question, because that's what we always say. What a stupid thing to do. And then you skip it, right?
Oh, sorry, Kimberly, if you could scroll down.
Ah, God.
Originally. Also, does it have a serial number?
We could scroll to page 7.
Originally. Oh, so you must have answered it. Or something. I don't know. Like, why did you leave it there originally? Okay, so that's just continuation. Why did you leave it there originally? And does it have a serial number?
And I'll continue reading. I'll stop you on this page in a little bit.
Okay. So Tyler continues, IDEK, if I had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me, I worry about prints.
Are you going to answer the question?
I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits, didn't have the ability or time to bring it with.
The ability to. Is that because you left the screwdriver on the roof? So maybe that is the answer, because that was the two options that I thought it was more likely because he visited that spot, but that could have always just been a place to, I don't know, I don't know. And he says he didn't have the ability to, That almost sounds like because he didn't have the screwdriver, doesn't it? So they do answer that question. That's interesting. All right.
I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with.
And stop there, please. And then if we could go to the next page, page 8.
You gotta keep listening to that. That's pretty interesting.
It wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with.
I leave in a bush where I changed outfit. Didn't have the time or ability to take it with me.
And stop.
See, the thing is the ability part. Well, we already knew that you had the ability to take it in, but why didn't you have the ability to take it out? And then that would make you think that the not having the screwdriver is why he didn't have the ability anymore, because he left it on the roof. What do you guys think of that? Okay. Let's see what the other one is. It's all right. I don't know. It's hard to say, you know, because he went there and scoped out the place, and then he left his backpack there intentionally. You know, so I don't know. I don't know what that means. But why wouldn't he just? I mean, he's saying he didn't have the ability to.
Up there, please. And then if we could go to the next page.
I don't know. It might have been because he had to change or something. You know, whatever he was changing into didn't allow him to hide it. Like that shirt maybe made it harder.
Page 8. And if you could start at the top.
Okay, so Lance says, was your change of clothes there, or was that also gone? Or did you bring those with you originally? Anyway, you could replace the gun, or would he notice? Then Tyler says, only thing I left.
And if you could start at the top.
Okay, so Lance says, was your change of clothes there, or was that also gone? Or did you bring those with you originally? Anyway, you could replace the gun, or would he notice? Then Tyler says, only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. I'll bet that canine sniffed it out. Little snitching bastard. Replace it unlikely. I don't fully know what the gun was, because it was old as shit, and Gramps did some modifying. There was a 4-digit serial on it. God only knows who it's registered to. Hopefully some dead guy who gave it to Grandpa.
What does that have to do with anything? Well, I hope it's just some guy that's dead and gave it to Grandpa. Well, your grandpa had it, right? So he knows that, you know, I'm sure, I don't know. Probably registered to the grandfather.
Continues, remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke.
Because that's the fired shell, that one.
And then continue. I'll stop you.
And guess what? It was on Fox News like the next day, you know.
Moment.
He says, all right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really fucking sucks.
And let me stop you there. And then if we could go on to the next page, page 9. And do you see the first blue message we see on page 9? Can you start there?
Yes. So Lance says, do you need it for hunting? And Tyler says, no, my dad wanted to use a high caliber for the rifle hunt. Judging from today, I say Gramps' gun does just fine. IDK. I think that was
I think that comment right there is like extremely callous, but I don't know. I'm not sure how his brain works. Let me go back a little bit about the hunting. Maybe that.
No, my dad wanted to use a high caliber for the rifle hunt. Judging from today, I say Gramps' gun does just fine.
Yeah, man, it's such a flippant. I don't know how you refer to that type of comment, but it seems really cold, you know, like talking about how well the gun works just after you killed somebody. You know, maybe still on adrenaline or something at that point.
IDK. I think that was a 2K scope. Lance says, geez. And then Tyler says, OMW home 3.5 hours. Lance says, drive safe. And then Tyler says, delete this exchange.
And I'll stop you right there. And then, sorry, we're on page 9. If we can scroll to page 15.
Oh, there you go. I'm not sure. Is there more here? Oh, I guess I have more.
And then the second grade message on page 15, if you could start there.
Okay. So this is Tyler. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. We hope to keep things sort of quiet here.
And then I'll stop you there.
Okay.
And we can remove the exhibit from the screen. Thank you, Kimberly.
So that was it. Yeah. I mean, I think that's absolutely a real conversation that they actually had. Some of that I think was actually on the 12th. Not the 12th, the 11th. Later in the day, we just don't see it, you know. I wish, that's the thing. It's like, give us the damn time. I was shocked to know that it started at 11 p.m., aren't you guys? That's crazy. I thought it was like, you know, when he's at Dairy Queen or something, you know, texting around. But all of a sudden it's a text at 11 o'clock at night. And maybe he didn't mean for that either, because then all of a sudden that's a ping. But then he also used his phone to do all kinds. I mean, he was just on that phone all day long. They know exactly where he is, man. I can't wait till they get the cast data from the FBI, and they get it in there. It's going to look like a Christmas tree. The guy he's still working on it. There's so many locations that they put him at. He's probably just sitting around going, man, I need a vacation. He went to, you know, he's going, thank God the trial is in 2029, okay? Because there are so many locations on this damn thing. I bet here's the crazy part. I don't know. You know, I bet you, well, no, he had the damn phone with him when he was going into the tunnel. So he had the phone with him when he's on the damn roof, you guys. They know exactly where he was. At every moment in time. It's crazy. I mean, there's a video of him on the roof, but also you can triangulate his phone into that general area as well. It shows that that's him there. And then his DNA is on the screwdriver that was found on the roof. And then I think they have his DNA actually on the side of the roof as he's letting himself down. Yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, who's going to do one challenge in here tonight? Then we'll get right over to those phone calls, all right? Let's see if we can do one. We just need one person to do a challenge. We can do it. And if you missed it earlier, see, the thing is we try to, I don't know. On my channel, I try to bring in super chats and bring in the income so that my channel can survive, first of all. I mean, if I'm not here, we're not doing anything. And then at the end of the month, I try to donate thousands of dollars to true crime-related charities. We've already given $500 so far this month. And it'd be nice to have a decent month so we can do one of our bigger ones, because we haven't. Right now, we're at a pace of like, you know, 38,000 for the year, where, you know, that would be our lowest month since the first year that we did this, which is still pretty damn good, right? I mean, So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, that would be awesome. Somebody, we need one challenge though. I don't believe they didn't. What do you mean? I don't believe they didn't. Type a different sentence. They did. We just looked at the screen. He texted at like 4 something in the afternoon. We know what the reality is, KM. You're incorrect. Okay, we just saw the screen. I mean, I guess it's possible they were on, you know, there was a Discord communications, but that's what it says on the screen. Yeah, I just said that, Cindy. Oh, yeah? You're going to call in, Joey? You haven't called in a long time. Remember that? I don't know, man. I think that we do see on there that he said something at 4 something. Yeah, it seems like most likely they would have said something to each other at some point, but they didn't text each other on the phone is what I'm saying.
Always great coverage of cases. Thanks for covering Charlie's case.
Hey, look at that. It's streaming of blue skies and sandy beaches. That's almost as long as the now infamous Crystal, a.k.a. Beaver Gaming Sub Crystal. Dreaming blue skies, sandy beaches. Yeah. Doesn't sound as long saying it, but got a lot of letters in there. I think KM's the one that sent and said, because I thought I heard the guy say that it was in the evening. So I thought, okay, that must be 6 o'clock, so I didn't even double check that one, so that was shitty on my part. But they're the ones that said that it's actually at like 12 something because there's -6 UTC time. I've already known that the whole time. But yeah, for anybody out there that's new watching right now, okay, let me just do this. Put a 1 in the chat if you haven't seen the aerial photography of the Dodge Charger that was parked just before his final run, where he was wearing all dark, where he was parked when he left the entire scene later to go to that mall. So put a 1 in there if you've never seen it. So we got 240 people watching. There's got to be a certain number in there that haven't seen it. I mean, a lot of people watch sort of in and out on my show, etc. But even one's worth showing it really quick again. Anybody else out there? Anybody at all? Well, some people don't type, so I'll show it here. So if you see it anywhere else, you know, like on another channel, they got it from me. They didn't come up with it themselves. They didn't figure it out. But that's what they do. Now, somebody who has a job where they have access to aerial photography. Okay, so let me show you this. Aerial photography. I'll go back a little bit just so you can sort of see what's going on here. So there's aerial photography in whatever the site is for like surveying and shit like that. But there's even footage in here. If you look, it's really clear at a lot of the time. So hold on. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Get like this. So some of these are really interesting. Like this one is on September 10th at 11:18. And there looks like there might even be some people there even at 11:18, which is an hour before. You know, so yeah, there they are. See, then when you zoom in, it gets clear. That's what's so great about it. It's a really high resolution photography. And, you know, so I'm just going to scroll through and they move around. You know, that's crazy. So that's 11:18. Now I think he's sitting in his car at this time. And right there, that's the street, I believe, that that he would have been walking on at like 11:49. Yep. And then right here, these two cars are the same two cars that are across the street when he walks by the sawtooth wall. That car and that car are there. And that's because this is right around that time. Look what time it is. 11:18. He walks by there at 11:45. So it's really close. This car seems to be there a lot. It was even there in when I walked by with my 360-degree camera in October. It's weird. When you zoom in, it gets clear. You don't see that too often. All right, now look at this. There's a spot right there. Now, see that? There's a vehicle sitting right there. You see that? Look what time it is. 11:18. See that? You can see, if I go out like this, you can see right there, there's a vehicle. See how it's really blurry and you wouldn't really be able to do much with that? And so let's just keep moving. Now look at it. Now I got a 3D model of a 2013 Dodge Challenger. Look at this, you guys. I mean, it's almost unbelievable how. And by the way, this is a tree here, so the car ends right there. The tree makes it look like the car goes out. But look at this. See that little molding shift right there? I mean, that's incredible, you guys. That is exactly the same as his 2013 Dodge Challenger. It's right there. The back of it goes right there. And then there's even another shot here coming up in a minute. I don't have the car at the correct angle, but you can still make it out. And so this one here is at, look at this, because that's the 24th. So we're going to keep going through. There's one that's at September 23rd. He's just showing all the different dates. September 18th, September 24th. And that's September 10th at 11:26. All right. And there it is. See, that's September 10th. Look at that right there at 11:26. So that's 8 minutes after the other one. So 11:18 and 11:26. It's still there. And look at that. And this one shows you exactly what I was saying, is at the end of that even has a little bit again of the tree in there, but the end of the car is like right there. And look, you put that down, right, that little corner maybe right there, possibly. But again, the molding has the same exact shape. The end, you can even see sort of like that right there. And then that's actually a back windshield, which is the same as that one. The top's the same length. Everything is absolutely correct in there. I'd have to rotate the car slightly, that, up to the upper left a little bit to get the same angle that the car is at. But you see that? Isn't that crazy, you guys? 100%. I would say it's 99% that is the Dodge Challenger, and here's why. So remember how he was walking in the morning by this house right here, and the Challenger actually drives right like that when it goes in to do its first trip into campus. But look at that, it's the same street, just right up here, where at 11:10 the vehicle is not there, but at 11:18 it is there. And guess what? He ended his dry run at 11, just before 11 on campus. Then he has to make his way to his car, and then after 11:10 he parked the car right there, and he got ready for his final trip. And then from here he just walked down with the limp leg down this direction, turn right, and then he walks by here at 11:45 and then turns right here. I can't say this is 100%, Because you just never know if somebody else also owns a 2013 Dodge Challenger that happens to be on the exact same street that Tyler Robinson was on. Okay? I think it's like 99.9% that that's his. And it makes sense. The timing's perfect. Isn't that wild, Doreen? So I was just hoping you guys, the people hadn't seen it, you could see it, and you'll see it. But see, that's what's crazy, how I get so few views, but we're doing stuff over here. We understand the case on this channel better than anybody. Like, better than any of the new, Brian Enton, all of them. Okay? Fox News people, we understand the whole damn thing. And that's just the truth. Again. And you guys know it, too. Like, when you watch Fox News, they're just sort of like, they just say these little simple things. They don't know it, man. They don't know where the car was. They don't know anything. They don't know anything. None of those people do. I'm just, News Nation. None of them know anything about exactly the whole story here. We could do it. Yeah, I mean, you got to admit, the shape of, this is a Dodge Challenger. Can we all agree with that? 100%, right? Like this, just looking at these, that's when there was no car there. Let me go back to the one when they're together. Right there. Just look at that. The exact same molding on the top of it. I think we'd have to agree that that is a Dodge Challenger and the same color, sort of that gray metallic looking, sort of brushed metal look to it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I make mistakes here and there, like just like a minute ago I typed in the 10th. But when I would talk about it, I'd know it's the 11th because I know the time frame. My brain was just typing it in. What do you mean the missing video footage? We got somebody on X saying, "Sure, buddy. What about the extra bullet? Yeah, there's a bullet on a roof that's not the same type of bullet that shot him. Rule out another shooter. Yeah, well, there isn't another shooter, you fool. Look at this idiot on Twitter. Oh, my God. I wish I could put the... Yeah, here it is right here. Look at this. You were the same guy that tried to rule out another shooter at Butler. Yeah, because there wasn't another shooter at Butler, you idiot. There was just one. Yeah, there's just one shooter at Butler, you fool. Facts. They have a .223 bullet they found on a roof that has no sight of the building. Okay, see you later, buddy. What a fool. He's calling me Fed slop. So here's what you know. You know this idiot on Twitter, they watch Candace Owens and Baron Coleman are their heroes. And they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're the ones that say Fed slop all the time. Hey, thanks. Marty's Bar and Grill said, "You're amazing. Who else does the work you do? Who else produces the content you do? What else is an honest and as full of integrity as you are?" I don't know, man. All I say, that's why I don't do as well. Because we just put out the truth, not the bullcrap stories that make everybody happy. Yeah, Candace Owens is an absolute idiot. She's either an idiot or intentionally selling garbage for the money. Yeah, but why do they need to? So here's the thing, everybody. The guy's typing in, "They never checked for prints on that random bullet." Ooh. Charlie Kirk was shot with a 30-06, not a .223. Okay, and Tyler Robinson was on the roof. He admits it in his text messages. He left a screwdriver on the roof that has his DNA on it, the one that he used to put the rifle together after taking it out of his pants. And then he shoots, and then he runs over, and then he leaves probably his I would say they're going to have DNA on the corner of the roof when he's jumping off. Because he put his hand on there, and he dragged it off, just like the footage that I have of him doing that, and his prints right there. And then the rifle that's found in the woods after they tracked it on that surveillance camera, there's DNA of him and Twiggs, because they live together, on the towel. There's DNA of him and Twiggs on the rifle. I think not the rifle. What was the other one? The towel and the screwdriver, I think it was. Both their DNA is on both of those. And then the bullet that was fired, he knew exactly what was on there. Now it has Tyler Robinson's DNA on there, you idiot. All right, I got to go over to Twitter really quick and block this fool. These people just are the morons of society. Got to go over there. God, they're embarrassing. God, just unbelievable. He's probably the type that sits around and watches the fatal gunshot over and over and over again because it makes him feel good. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and... Where is this guy? I'm not sure how to get to the... Let me click on the video. Yeah, well, your brain doesn't work correctly. Not a cat lady. You're incorrect. You're wrong. You are going to be proven wrong. You look insane in your comments. Okay? Thank you. All right. Yeah, and they're the only person that's commented. Okay. I'm gonna have to... Let's see. How do I get rid of this person? Oh, there you go. All right, cool. No more comments. It's just a total. They're just spamming the chat. No, you've already been blocked. Good luck, though. Good luck out there. You're a ridiculous person. Embarrassing. All right, awesome. You guys can't see it, but they type like 20 comments in a row. Let's see. One of them is the screwdriver has Lance's DNA on it, and the towel has more of Lance's DNA than Tyler. So what? maybe Lance took a shower and dried himself off with it, and then he grabbed it, and the only time he used it was to hold the rifle. And then it's then LMAO. The rifle has dust in it. Ha ha ha. These are all facts in trial. Ha ha ha. I watched all the trial thus far. Why are you mad? Because no, it's not. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with you're a lunatic. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. This case is the strongest case in the history of true crime that I've covered. I've never seen anything more strong than this one. There is nothing. There's no doubt. There's not a shred of anything that makes you go, boy, this just doesn't make sense, etc. It all makes sense. What time is this one at? Oh, that's September 24th at 12:24. Not sure what day that is. All right, anyways, I'm going to open up the phone line here in a second. Joey, you ready? Let's see. Where the hell's... Let me go to the other screen. But let's see if we can get some support for the channel, you guys. We just kind of died down, and we need to have good, all good days during this trial because we've had such poor days. All right. There it is, Joey. All right. Yeah, I don't respect opinions like that because they fire out. They use no common sense at all. They just...
Respect my opinion, you bastard. Smiley face emoji.
What about that? I bet those are... That looks like investigators doing stuff here, doesn't it? Like there's two...
Call from
Joey G.
Hey, Is this Joey?
Gray, what's up? Be safe out there.
That's right. What's going on?
What's going
Hello?
on?
Oh, you're kind of cutting out a little
Before.
bit. Okay, there you are.
Oh, sorry.
There you are.
You know, they got, like, in this modern day and age, you either need video or ballistics or DNA. They got all three, and yet there's still all these questions. And I mean, I have to admit that the bullet not going through is a little, you know, odd. However, that does not cancel out everything else. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
can
but
be
it does
explained as
it
well.
does happen. Like everybody talks about it.
Sure.
And you know, and if it goes in there and it fragments right away, it just sort of disperses and doesn't make it out.
Yeah, and who knows what kind of ammo he was using, you know, if the gunpowder wasn't full, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there could be multiple factors. But I don't know how these people just keep, no matter what the bar is, you clear
Wasn't
it. and
full,
they just
I don't
leave it.
know.
No, sorry about that. Could you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
It's all
weird.
good.
No, it's well the Twitter version played your voice back.
Yeah, I don't understand how you go 3 for 3 with ballistics video. And I mean, God, you got literally him step by step for the whole act. And what really bothers me too is the assassination. Actually, he did it. I mean, he's smart and he figured it out and all, but he had no resistance, no rooftop cover from his security. But, you know, the escape was going to be hard either way, especially with the video, because they would have definitely, you know, with his parents pointing him out and all the good work you did.
Well, what he did was really easy, though. The whole thing was just simple. You know, he goes up, he just walks on campus, walks right up a set of stairs, and he's on the roof. And he did it right during, I don't know, I always compare it to Lord of the Rings. You ever watch Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
The third one? You know, the third one when... Remember when they all went to the big gate and started a fight to sort of draw attention from Frodo and Sam making it all the way up to Mount Doom to put the ring in? Remember that?
Yes.
So there's that
Yes,
whole...
sir.
So I think it's sort of like when Charlie Kirk was speaking, all eyes are looking over there. Everybody.
Yes.
The whole campus is over there looking. And then from behind, Tyler Robinson comes in, and he's outside the range, and then he does the shot because nobody was looking either. So it was in his situation, he perfectly calibrated the timing of it, and I think that's sort of similar. Yeah.
Yes, and he also had, you know, a lot of experience shooting. I mean, he had that gun when he was little, man. Like he knew that gun inside and out. So he had a feel for it. He practiced when they showed them targets today. I never knew that. I mean, I imagined he practiced, but geez, like, I mean, he was pretty thorough on the entrance, but you know, on the exit he screwed up, which I'm thankful he did. But
well, he's even shitty on the entrance. He just was able to do it. He was just the part that's shitty is like he didn't. I mean, in terms of hiding himself, I mean, he had the hat on, I guess, and glasses, so he must have known he's being filmed. He just didn't think he it's just so stupid to think like his parents wouldn't recognize him. I mean, it wasn't like he was had a balaclava on and a whole kind of weird suit on and shit that he never wore. He was wearing the same hats that he normally wears, the same backpack he normally wears, the same damn maroon shirt that he wears all the time. You know?
Yeah, and when you showed that accident from a few years back, it's just so crazy, you know. And I'm saying it in an innocent way towards him, like he was kind of like a goofy kid, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, 3 years later or whatever, he's taking out Charlie, man. And oh my God, I'm still that really. Oh my God, I love Charlie, dude. I love him, dude. And I think he was, you know. Nobody's perfect and all that, but he was coming from, you know, the best place to try to just enlighten everybody. And I don't know, just for him to get taken out like that, it's crazy, man. The devil is here.
Yeah, it sucks. I think he's one of the indoctrinated youth by a political party who uses some of the most inflammatory rhetoric you've ever heard. It's crazy.
Yes, and then you throw in on top of that, and I'm just guessing, but it was likely probably his first serious relationship, man or woman, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And he falls in love, and then what I think Twiggs was crying every night, like, Charlie's hurting my feelings, listen to him, and then he might not have told him nothing, but he's like, I'm going to prove my love to you, and this is what we get.
That's exactly what I think. That's exactly I think the same thing. I've said that. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
You see, like, even your friends and all, like when we were younger too, with the pretty girl, and she walks all over them, all that, and that's kind of what he's going through at that age. And then he, all the inflammatory stuff and all that, and he has his, partner crying every night, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to prove my love to you. And it's just like, damn. And on a side note, though, I'm just saying, I swear to God, I think a big part of this is a lot of these kids, especially on them college campuses, never got rejection, never were punched in the face, never had any of that. And then as soon as there's some kind of thing that they don't like, they have to hit the nuke button. And it's unbelievable. They're like spoiled. I can't take it. They wouldn't last a minute in my neighborhood with that shit.
Yeah,
but I don't want to tie your line up, man. I miss talking to you, brother.
Yeah, it's good to hear
really,
from you.
dude. Yo, man, the work you always do is unbelievable. But this, I mean, of course, we say it like almost every case. But dude, if they took one of your videos, like, they don't even have to do no more of the research or nothing. You know what I mean? And I know people get the YouTube tag on them or whatever, but you're actually doing thorough stuff, man, like real work. And I just think you should get recognized for that. But that's just the product of the times, how upside down we are. All the liars are getting, all the fluff. That's right. Anybody that's doing right is getting nothing. It's crazy. It's upside down. Everything's upside down. It's nuts.
Yeah, it sucks, And it's weird, too, because people like Cannasones and Barron and all those guys, they sell their garbage to idiots like Not a Cat Lady that was in here earlier, and they actually believe the stuff, and they see things in a way that's delusional, and they believe stuff that absolutely is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life, and they just keep, and it's like they just can't. It's called tunnel vision, like they see something, and then everything that they look at, they view through the lens of tunnel vision, and they'll be proven absolutely wrong. Tyler Robinson is going to, probable cause has already been met. And it's not even close to not. And he's going to be, he'll either make a deal or he's going to be found guilty. And I'm not sure if he'll get the death penalty, just based on, maybe just something will happen, but he should get that because he planned it. And, it's just, he caused so much hell.
Oh my God!
It's just crazy.
I know, and you're right, because I even have friends that, like, they're normal, like, and what it is too is they're lazy. They won't do any research. They're like, oh, he didn't have the gun. I'm like, yo, I send him your videos all the time. Like, look at the black tail as he's jumping off, dude. The dude zooms in for you, and you're listening to Candy. Talking about just asking questions,
Right.
That's by innuendo.
Just asking
That's by
questions.
innuendo. That's all she does. That's all she does, man. It's unreal. And then she's got to top her next episode. She's got to make it even scarier. Like, oh, we're getting closer.
Yeah.
Tune in.
They're never
next
closer.
week.
They're never closer.
No. Same bad time, same bad channel. Yeah, okay. And you're going to tell more lies, and all these people just... well, Candy said this. I'm like, she got no proof. It's nothing but asking questions. And that's another thing. Thank God they got all these things in line. They got the ballistics, the DNA, the video, the cards, multiple confessions. Nothing's good enough. But they got all that, and they still raise the bar. Like, nah, it's too convenient. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And if they didn't have the rifle, if he would have got that back and somehow disposed of it, Jesus, then, he might even get a chance to get off. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, the thing is
But
I don't even think you... Well, in this case, Twiggs is irrelevant, really. I mean, not that you were talking about Twiggs, but I was just thinking, like, he's not even...
No. Yeah, but you know what, dude? The way you explain, and see, this is a confirmation bias that we all fall into at times. Like, it's just like, there's no way Twiggs didn't know nothing. Like, I would even say that to myself. I do think he had hate for Charlie, dude. Because there's no way.
I think some of that stuff. I mean, I agree that he. I mean, I think it's not. It's hard to say because you can't. Well, you can't prove somebody's not telling the truth when they say, "I don't remember." You know, so it's just like. But I think that he. I think obviously he wouldn't have liked Charlie Kirk because of like his stance on transgenders and stuff. Sure. And I'm sure they've had those conversations. And then Twiggs was in these other groups too. I just don't think he's involved with planning it or anything like that. I just think Charlie Kirk. I mean, I think Tyler Robinson went out and he just sort of decided to do what he did, and you can kind of tell, like even in that text exchange, that like they're like, what, like he didn't.
Yeah, and you make a good point because if you were really trying to do something for your significant other and you didn't want to get them in any kind of trouble, you wouldn't tell them nothing. You know what I mean? Like, if he loved him that much, he wouldn't tell him shit. He would just go do what he did and then tell him after or whatever, because he wouldn't want to drag him down either. But I just think the nucleus of that, he had to be bitching in his ear for months about Charlie, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go drive 5 hours, ruin my life, and take this dude out. Like, it's like, it's kind of like the Lee Harvey Oswald JFK in terms of this. Forget all the... the conspiracies and all that. In terms of this, somebody so inconsequential took out somebody so consequential, and people just can't wrap their heads around that. Like, it can happen because we're humans, and Jesus, fucking Charlie's security team. Oh my God, dude! Like if me and you were there, and it's like, yo, you got to do security today. The first thing we would do would be on the roof. That'd be the first thing. And there's nobody
here's the thing: is I don't even think that way either. What you're just saying right there. I don't know. I mean, if you were doing Trump, sure, I would do that. But I think when you're just like you're at an organization, you're doing speeches at a campus. You're not doing Overwatch and all this crazy shit. I mean, people don't. You want to feel like you're there as a guest and you're talking. So you're gonna have your security team around. So I wouldn't do all the crap that you're saying there. I would do that for a senator. I would do it for a president. I would do it for, some high level, But they were talking about it's a Turning Point USA and it's Kurt going to a campus and talking. So I don't do that. I don't really care.
I understand what you're saying, but if you break it down, Charlie is more powerful or as powerful as any of them guys.
Sure, I mean, you can say that.
He was actually connecting.
Yeah, but I just don't. But I think when the problem is when I just don't think it's a thing, and it has nothing to do with Tyler Robinson. I think he would have got the shot off even if they'd had. You know what? He was only on the roof in an available position for less than a minute when he did that shot. He actually 50 seconds he got the shot off.
Yeah, but standard procedure, even with Charlie Kirk, there's some kind of roof cover, and
this is the kind of I don't want. But here's the thing: I don't want this kind of conversation is a total waste of time. You know why? This is why it's a waste of time, because what difference does it make? It has nothing to do with anything. It's just you saying, "Oh, they should have done this." They have nothing to do with the killing. No, because look, it has nothing to do with the killing.
I think
Charlie Kirk's the killer.
Standard procedure, though.
But it's not standard procedure. It's not standard procedure there. That's you believing.
It would be for me. It would be for me if you're trying to protect somebody.
Right, but it's irrelevant. But it's irrelevant in the case, right? Because
after the fact, yeah. But I'm saying, how can we prevent it again? Right. That's all.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, what my point is. See, it's sort of like the Dylan Mortensen thing in the Idaho 4. People always say, well, how come she didn't? How come? And I always go, well, do you think she's the killer? No, but I think that... Okay, well, then who cares? Okay, so it's like a total waste of time. I mean, these guys will probably think about how to fix something, but for us to talk about it, it's not worth our time, because we're not the people that make the decisions to have a drone flying around or any of that kind of stuff, right?
I get that, but it's still like, I don't know, it's the first order of defense there, man. But I hear you. We don't have to stay on that. It's fine. But it's just again,
it's
though,
never
this
bothered me
guy,
that they didn't have snipers all over the place and a drone flying all over the place.
Just somebody with binoculars on the roof. Christ, even that one video too. The student sees him in prone position. And he's like, "Yo, there's a guy on the roof," and he's like just chilling back there. And it's like, if he sees it, why isn't there anybody else that can do something about it? See it, but it, like you said, the milk's already spilled, obviously. But it's just.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
man. It's just
tragedy. For me, it's just like that's where. See, what you're talking about now is where you're leading into that's where the conspiracy people start going. Yeah, see, so why didn't they do the basic thing? You see, so that made him open for it. So man, there must be something else. That's why it's not worth talking about. That's why it's not worth talking about.
I know. It's just I'm not implying that. I'm just saying it's a mistake, man. It's an unforgivable mistake. It's just
see that
not a
cat lady typed in. Didn't Charlie say to keep asking questions? And what I'll say to that is, they've already. All the questions in this case have been answered, and Tyler Robinson is the killer. There is no doubt about it. And so you got these lunatics out there that think they're asking questions that are really important and valuable when you really aren't doing that at all. You're being absurd and ridiculous is what you're doing. So that's about it.
It's tough, man. I know it's tough. The whole world's tough now, but yeah, man, it's like a pawn taking out a king, and it's nobody. And it's just the human nature. Like sometimes it gets through, but it's like when a pawn takes out a king, it's just like, oh, there's no way that should have happened, and people get stuck on that, and it's like, and no, it shouldn't have happened, but we just can't deal with the shock, It's like, it's almost like a firehouse catching on fire. Like, how the hell did that happen? It's like, it's weird. But, I don't want to tie up your lines, man. I miss you, dude. Keep up the good work.
Good seeing you around again. But focus on that. Like, this is where the important shit is the bad people. Like I always say this is, like this is the same kind of thing. Let's say a woman goes to walk at a park at midnight in a secluded area, and then you go, damn, why didn't she go? She should have had this and this and this, and it's like, and then, sure, right? But what we should say is, why do we live in a world where we have to think that way? Why can't a woman go jogging in a park at midnight, right? So maybe she should have brought this, and maybe should have brought that, but the argument should be is, how do we keep these nut jobs from doing what they're doing? That's how I look
no doubt. No doubt. And then, like you said, all the big cities back in the day when they built the houses, they didn't even make lock on the doors. They didn't even make locks on the doors because nobody did that. Nobody was breaking in your house like that, like to that degree. It's crazy. But, I think the devil's here and we got to stand up to him, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Do our time. And we got the ballistics and the video and the timeline, and you're on it, and I think you should just make a video A to Z, dude, just like you do usually, however in depth you want to get to it, and you got till September 1st, put that on a zip drive and send that to them jabronis, and they can just freaking
I sent them an email letting them know. I sent them an email letting them know that they have their 3 different clips are flipped horizontally and on the surveillance. It's crazy. Like, I didn't even know what I was looking at. I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized, I literally said, maybe these are flipped. But I flipped it. Boom. Everything worked perfectly.
Yeah, I saw. I saw you do that, and with the timestamp and all. Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying, though. Like, their tech department misses that. Like, come on, man. Let's get the details right.
Yeah,
it's like, if you give these guys an inch, there's their conspiracy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look, he walked to the right instead of the left. Look.
Yeah, and guess what? That's exactly what they said earlier.
Right.
Somebody said that thing about how he went over, and I can't remember what their wording was, but they said I think it was in that one I showed on the screen. And they make these comments that are just, they're using any little thing that they can, and even if they get the truth, they won't fix what they said. They'll just find another way to keep that going.
Right.
You know, instead of
that was
your whole that was the whole reason you said what you said, but now that that's gone, you're keeping it going with some other thing. It's so weird.
Yeah, they just go to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm with you with that. There's no. That's what I mean. There's no satisfying. No matter what, like you said, how much other proof the dude confessed. I mean, you got him on tape. He's on the roof from the angle that shot him with the bullet. Like, what else do you guys want, man? Like, it's like literally a movie.
It's the most cut and dry case that I've ever covered. See, a lot of these idiots that follow it now are from a political realm, and they're not true crime people. They don't realize what's going on, so they just think all these things that other people are telling them that are also not true crime people, but they're delving into that, and they start believing all this stuff because they don't realize what's going on here. I've covered, I would say, like, active cases, like hundreds and hundreds of those, and thousands of total cases. And like I said before, this case is the strongest one I've ever seen, and it isn't even close. This thing is a ridiculous slam dunk. It isn't even, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
I know. You usually only need one of the three. You either need video or the ballistics or a confession, and you got all of it.
Yeah, and the confessions
are 3 for 3.
And the confessions aren't just like one vague confession. We're talking about he told his parents that he did it. He wrote that he did it in messages that he sent. It just goes
Even
on and on and
game
on.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Discord
the
chat.
Discord, that final one he sent there. Yeah, it goes on and on. So there you go. Anyway,
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, good to see you. Good to talk to you again, Greg.
Yeah, you too.
Freaks, I miss you guys. And stay safe out there.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You the man, Greg.
See you later.
Later, brother.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Did you see that comment that was on the screen here? This idiot right here. Hey, so you don't believe in a trial by jury? Yeah, I totally agree with it. And there'll be a trial, and they'll listen to the evidence, and I'm 100% certain that he'll be found guilty unless somebody like you is sitting on the jury who uses no common sense, logic, or reason. That's definitely possible, okay? So if some moron is on the jury that believes in fairy dust and weird crap like that, you might actually vote not guilty. I could see that happening. So there might be 1 or 2 people that are stealth jurors, and then you'll have to do another trial, etc. But I would hope the judge would even go, you know what? This is obvious. Like, I don't know. I mean, the defense is the one that goes with the directed verdict, you know. That's not going to happen. He did confess to his parents. That's why you're confused. He made statements to his parents that he was responsible. He said he was going to go take his own life somewhere. Then they convinced him not to. Man, you guys should educate yourself. You little anybody that says they're not a cat lady probably is. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see. So look at these pictures right here. This is when he was pulled over. All these. Look at that. It's the same guy. All the way through. It's unbelievable. All right, you guys. How do we get the support for the channel here? We just keep dying all the time now. So we need you guys to support the channel. We're only at about 50% of the goal on this show here. All right. So is there any chance that you guys could rally, maybe do a challenge in here or something like that? That'd be awesome. A challenge would help out quite a bit. So if somebody out there could do one, I would appreciate it. Yeah, this case is one of those ones where you just go, wow. Yes, I believe in the jury system, but I'm not required. I'm going to tell you what I think. And I've done it in other cases too. When I'm certain of something, I'm going to let you know. This is a case that I have literally zero doubt. And the fact that some people do is scary. because the evidence in this case is so overwhelming that it's unbelievable. Okay? It's crazy. I've been there. I've seen it, the whole place. I filmed everything. It just is what it is. So, hey, Jason, you calling in? And who's doing the challenge in here right now, you guys? We need one. Oh, hey, look at that one. We got Marty's Bar and Grill doing if he'll send in 50 in coffee if 5 people just donate one $5 coffee or membership. How about that one? Thanks, Marty. As in Marty's Bar and Grill. So we just need 5. Eat. Yeah, you did go to Dairy Queen. I think he's right here.
Call from
Rebel Rose, Jade.
Oh,
to
boy.
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello.
Ray,
What's going on? I guess Jason didn't.
you know who I am?
Well, you said Rebel Rose when you called in.
Rebel Rose Jade, the one and only, baby.
Oh, boy.
I've been gone for a while.
So what's going on?
I'm not much life, but I'm back now, so I'm going to come back and harass you. How's that? Like I always did.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love you.
I remember that.
Now, you know who I am, baby, when I come up in that chat. Thank you for the gift, honey. That was just like so sweet. Shocked the far out of me.
Yeah, I don't know where it, we got a lot of people gifting memberships, so cool that you got one. So,
It is, I was not expecting that.
Do you have any,
This dude here, I had made a statement on another channel, but, they talk about the IQ of the people. Like, okay, if their IQ is a 70 or whatever, they don't want to send them to prison or anything like that. But they're smart enough to fail that test.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So this guy here, he's smart enough to try to make you think he don't know as much as he does. I think he knows a hell of a lot more than what he does.
Oh, you're talking about Twiggs. I think he knows more. Like, he's probably had different, I'm sure they've talked politics and stuff like that. He says they didn't. And so I guess if they can prove that he talked politics all the time, then that would be breaking his agreement that he had. Because he wasn't supposed to lie. If he's proven to lied in that, then he gets, there's a penalty for that.
They need to do something because he knows a lot more than what he's saying, baby. He's just like, he is playing these people.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not. I ain't on that jury.
I'm just more focused on Tyler Robinson. I think it was interesting to hear Twiggs and his thoughts and everything. But Tyler Robinson I think he planned it all out. I think he went there on his own. There's not another soul there with him. And if there was, you'd probably see him with somebody at one of these other, like Dairy Queen or something like that, hanging out, talking or something. So he's just there by himself. So he did it all. Now, did he talk to people in Discord? And they kind of encouraged him on to do it, because some of them said, hey, watch for tomorrow, remember those people? So.
They want to talk about they had a bad childhood and stuff like that. Well, you know what? There are a lot of people that had a bad childhood, and they don't turn out to be evil little chits like he did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy. It just aggravates the far out of me. There's so much that's went on with people being shot, stabbed, and killed, and they want to raise Cain about it and they don't even know what they're raising Cain about.
Mm.
I mean, they're out there getting their butts put in jail all over stupidity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to call in and tell you hi, baby. I love you. I am back.
All right. Okay.
Let me in that chat, darling. Let me in that chat, baby, so I can give you hell like I used to, baby.
Well, you can get in there. You're not in there. Type something in.
You got me in time out.
Type something in there. Type something in. I bet it shows up.
All right, honey, I will. I love you, baby. I missed you. Yeah, I'm back,
Okay.
baby. I'm supposed to give you 9 kinds of hell.
All right. I guess I forgot. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling
All right,
in.
honey. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye. That's funny. Yeah. All right. How do we get these challenges in here? You know, we need 3 more. You guys. Man, that's what I hate. I wish I had 10,000 people watching and it was just like simple. I just hate having to ask so many times. I really do. I really dislike it. You know. So we need 3 more gifted memberships, you guys. Can we get those, please? Thank you. And now there's no chance, because whenever we do the calls, it doesn't work.
Call from
James, a.k.a. Jason Bourne.
Hello. How's it going?
Hey, Gray.
How's it going? Jason Bourne.
Yeah, well, that was some great coverage tonight, and to be honest with you, you did such a great job. You know, it's I don't really have a lot of questions, to be honest with you. I mean, I have a few, but for the most part, you clarified and crystallized everything right down to the nitty-gritty, in my opinion.
Well, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. It was absolutely great.
I thought it was. I didn't know though that 11 o'clock is when the text exchanges started. That's pretty weird. That was a. I actually thought that they were communicating kind of like through the day, you know, a little bit. You know?
So was it? Did you mention earlier it was like between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning that he would have left to take off?
No, he left at like 1:35, I think.
To get up there, then to get up there by when?
Oh no, okay, to get there. Yeah, I think he might have left at like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying when he left Orem. Yeah.
Okay.
That was 1:35 in the morning.
But when he left home.
Yeah, I think it was like 4 or so, because it takes a while to get there.
3 or 4, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And do you think that he, in that time frame, stopped by his parents' house or his grandpa's house?
I don't know. I mean, I know you want to know when he got the gun and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to know where it was at. You know what I mean? Because if it was that late in the morning, that would mean that either, you know, like you'd think a gun would be in a locked case, that if it was at somebody else's home, you have to go in there and get in their gun case and get the gun out. Like my dad had his own gun case and it was always locked, you know. But, you know, it was just interesting that was something that they never asked Lance at least I didn't hear him say anything about the rifle.
Yeah, I mean, somebody was saying he had the rifle. So I don't know where he would have kept it, you know. Nobody talked about it. We didn't hear about it, but I don't know. To me, it's like, I mean, is that a big part of the story, really? Or is it just kind of like, somehow he had access to the rifle that his grandfather gave him. And he got it, and then he made it there with it. So however he did that, he did it. You know, you might say, well, hey, maybe Lance saw the rifle because it's kind of big, and he would have known about the rifle, but also he hunts, I guess, apparently. So it's like, okay, maybe that's not that weird that he would have a hunting rifle.
I agree. So he could have it at the house, and they just didn't bring it up for some reason. They didn't want to bring it up, or it wasn't that relevant.
You know, it's crazy when you listen to all the... I mean, doesn't the text exchange make more sense, though, now? Like, being more natural? Like
100%.
Just kind of...
100%.
Yeah, like, there, I could see people at the beginning, but I at the beginning, you know, I had some thoughts like, you know, but barely. I mean, just barely, because I remember, you know, almost immediately seeing that one portion where he said, why? Why'd I do it? You know, and then that's like, well, you know, that'd be an incredible thing to throw in there in a scripted exchange, you know, just sort of like, wow, what a smart thing to throw in there. But that alone isn't even the thing. It's just now that we know that, you know, he didn't even want that message to go out at 11 because he was alive and moving around. He just couldn't figure out how to stop it. So it made it out. And then he was like, oh, shit. And now he sort of is in a weird position where he has to try to explain it. Now. Because now, and they know that, okay, Charlie Kirk's dead, and everybody knows that. And now he has to explain how, you know, the message said it was him. And then Twiggs was like, oh, come on, they already arrested somebody else, right? Yeah, you know, so I don't know. It made sense to me now, so.
Yeah, the other thing, too, that, you know, and I was just thinking more in detail that if you're the FBI and you're coming into a situation like this and you're having to uncover all the evidence associated with the case and do the interviews, that one of the things that you're going to have to rule out is, you know, of course you're going to look at the evidence and say, okay, the evidence is pointing in a certain direction, but how can we make sure that this guy isn't lying to us? Is he really telling us what we want to know? Like, he might be fibbing about some parts, but the crucial parts, is he telling us the truth? And I think that they would have polygraphed him. And, I mean, I know it's not admissible. I know that it can be defeated. But I think that they would have been confident, based on a polygraph, that everything that Lance was saying that was crucial to what they wanted to know pointed that it was consistent with the evidence, with what the evidence showed. So the text messages, all that stuff, you know, it was just backed it up. You know,
it's almost incredible.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying it's almost incredible how you have the text messages match everything. Like, you know, maybe not where he walked around on the roof, but like, you know, putting in a bush, and then, you know, then we even have Twiggs asking questions about that, like, well, why'd you leave it there at all, you know, and he didn't really have a great answer for that. You know, it's wild how it just went around.
Yeah, at first I was suspicious. At first I was thinking like, oh, I don't know. But then I thought about it, and I go, no, the FBI would have really went over this with a fine-tooth comb, and, you know, they would have been confident enough to go the path that they did. Because, for example, if the evidence would have pointed that, you know, Lance did have pre-knowledge and planning, and then the, you know, polygraph would have pointed to the fact that, you know, everything that he was saying was deceptive, then they would have, I'm sure they would have treated it much differently. You know, he would have been treated much differently.
Mm-hmm.
If they couldn't rule out the fact, you know, that he wasn't involved. But I think they ruled it out.
Yeah, well.
You know, so that part makes sense to me, that, you know, that Lance wasn't involved. But you know what's interesting is that to think that, so wasn't there some statement that that Robinson made that if Tyler was ever approached by the police, that he should make sure that he didn't talk, and that he, you know, said that I need to get an attorney? Was there any conversation that went along those lines?
Everybody knows that these days, right? So he did tell the cops that, like, when they brought him in, he goes, yeah, I need my attorney. He never spoke to them. He's never spoken to them ever, other than that original guy that he was kind of conversing with, that the friend of the family guy. He talked to them, but other than that, there's really nothing. You know, like, he didn't say a damn thing.
So there's no So there's no indication that he ever told Lance or hinted to Lance, like, listen, if they ever do come to talk to you.
They did. He did do that. He said that. He said, "Don't talk to them."
All right.
He said something like,
Yeah,
"Don't talk
right.
to them," or something like, "Don't talk to the media," or "Don't talk to." I can't remember exactly what it was. But.
Right. So what's interesting to me about that is that so this is his lover. This is a person that he trusts, and so he's telling him, "Listen, this and this goes down. Make sure that you don't do this and this, and that you do say that you want to talk to an attorney. This is the way that if it goes down, don't be talking to anyone else." And so that he was left with the impression that that's what Lance would do. But instead, we found out that that's not what Lance did. And that Lance told on him, basically. And then basically said that, that Tyler did text him those things, texted him those messages, which are basically a confession. And, that right there kind of sank. I mean, it wasn't integral to the case, like you said, because they didn't really even need, his roommate, his lover, to necessarily get the conviction because the evidence is just so overwhelming already. But apparently they did want to put him up on the stand enough to, or not put him on the stand, but, put his voice out there and his face out there enough so that people were convinced that there was no doubt about this person that,
Yeah.
and that he
I think that they...
Go ahead.
They obviously looked into... I mean, here's the thing. Lance Twiggs is almost meaningless, really. Like, this case is strong as hell without Lance Twiggs, right? I mean,
I agree.
They would have found the Discord and got all this other stuff and whatever. Like, Lance Twiggs isn't somebody they had to make a deal with, but they thought, man, this would make it stronger. So they must have looked into him, because he would have been an easy person to say, well, he's a conspirator, and just add it to it, and boy, he'd be toast too. He'd be freaking toast, easy. So it's like they must have looked all around and go, God, we really can't find anything. Kind of like in the, what's the name of that, Stephen Stearns case. I don't know if you ever remember that one, but the Stephen Stearns case he was the one that he killed like the 13-year-old girl of his, like, I don't know, his girlfriend's daughter. He was assaulting her and then he killed her. But it's, I can't remember what the correlation, but there was one. What was I just talking about? Like how he wouldn't get, let's see, what was it? Man, I can't remember now. Something like, with Stephen Stearns. I can't remember. It was some kind of, something about the deal. So, like, they didn't have enough information on if they had, his girlfriend. So a lot of people thought the girlfriend of Stephen Stearns knew all along because he let them sleep in the same bed and stuff like that sometimes. But see, that's what that's what the manipulative guys do. Like, he groomed the 13-year-old, and the mother. That's how I look at the case. And law enforcement looked at it. They looked at it over and over and over again, and they ended up saying to Stephen Stearns' parents, and his dad was a police officer. He was like, "Oh, come on, she has something to do with it, right?" And they go, "You know what? We don't think she knew anything," because they looked and looked. They wanted to find something, and they couldn't find a damn thing. And he ended up pleading guilty, and he's in prison for the rest of his life. She didn't get anything because they don't believe she knew anything. So it's sort of similar here, where they looked into Twiggs. You'd think, oh, shit, he has to know something. And they didn't find a damn thing. So they are, maybe they're not 100% certain. That's why he got a limited immunity deal. And so anything that they discussed in that interview that they did, they can't use that as, what do you call it? Like, it can't be a tree that bears fruit. They can't look into it.
Fruit of the poisonous tree.
Right. They can't use that, though. They can't have that lead to something. So But if there's anything else that comes forward, let's say one of the people on Discord would say, hey, you got to see this, look at this. Then boom, they can still do it. So it's not like the greatest deal in the world. It's just limited right to that thing that they're talking about, just in case. But so far, obviously, they never found anything that directly implies that Lance Twiggs had knowledge of what Tyler was doing or planned it with him. Maybe the knowledge, how do you prove that? But he didn't plan it or anything. They can't tie him to it. So there you go.
So one of the things that was really hard for me, and we talked about it earlier today in your show earlier, was that so this engraving took place, and I kept thinking to myself, like, okay, well, if I was the roommate or I was the person that had the relationship, like let's say if it was my girlfriend, and where's the Dremel tool? Oh, I'll get it for you. Oh, it's over in the drawer, and he gets it, but like so the engraving would take a while because there was a lot of letters to be engraved. And that was so it would take you a little while to do that. And you'd think that if you are in a relationship with somebody that they would be curious as to, well, what the heck are you putting on those bullets? Like, what is this about? Like, you'd think somebody would be curious. And so if we go along with the idea that Lance didn't know anything, it really almost suggests that as long as that had been going on from the engraving all the way to the point that he's in his mind and he's thinking like, I need to off this guy, that this whole time he didn't tell his lover. He kept it secret. He wasn't honest with the person that he was with. He was very secretive about things, and it seems like he was misleading the person that he was with for quite some time. Yeah. At least for a month, didn't they say that when the engraving took place that they thought that it might have been related
he was like hunting
to
or something. Hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he seems like he's kind of a deceptive person, and then telling his lover, don't talk, and then he found out that his lover did talk, and but it wasn't integral, like you said. It wasn't. But apparently they wanted it up there just to be able to have that little bit of extra, dirt. And, But that was the deep part, I think, for me, Gray, was the fact that, so I don't know if the lover knew the extent of the evidence that they had at the time on Robinson. So whenever he decided to talk, he had to know in his mind or thinking in his mind, like, well, I'm going to be forever changing this guy's life. He's not going to be the same after I speak, because after I speak, I'm basically, confirming these texts. And, that was a big deal right there, because it just kind of showed that there was a betrayal that took place, and,
is that the deepness that you were talking about?
Yeah.
The betrayal.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
The betrayal, yeah.
The part that I thought was the deep part for me was that he said that Tyler, it looked like he cried or something and wished he hadn't done it. So but he's really probably crying about that he knows his life is screwed. And now he wishes he wouldn't do it because it screwed his life, not that he felt bad that Charlie Kirk died, so.
And completely agree, because a point was made in the chat, and it was a great point, that this guy's got the appetite to go to Dairy Queen and sit there and enjoy himself eating food.
And say, man, I'd say that gun does just fine,
Man.
That statement's the one that's always bugged me the most. Like, once you might give him a little bit of, he's slightly human because he felt bad and he almost turned around there. And then that comment makes you just go, I don't know. I mean, I think, again, like when he turned around, it wasn't that he didn't want to still take out Charlie Kirk. He did it. He turned around like, do I want to risk screwing up my life? And then he turns around and he goes, screw it, I got to do this. So that's the whole thing, and that's why he felt bad later. But it still showed that he had another thought. You know, like a thought of not doing something. I think that is what he's doing there. You can almost see it the way he's moving. You know.
Well, and the point was brought up in the earlier call about, you know, the fact that the lover could have been saying, well, you know that he's against, you know, people like us. People have lifestyles like us, and, you know, working them up. And it was a subject that was on Robinson's mind, because he had been talking about it. It had been a discussion at family gatherings. So it had been an ongoing thing in his mind. And so and I do think that there is political discussions between those two. And I do think that he partly got worked up because, you know, it was basically saying to him, like, well, you can't tell us how to lead our life, and you can't tell other people how to lead their life, and we'll have our own little alternate lifestyle. And it was the brainwashing of the social media, unfortunately. That's the, you know, oh, my goodness. But on the death penalty part, you know, that you and I had talked about before, and I see other people expressing opinions about it, and I feel like you do, and that is that, you know, Erica, you know, whatever she decides, you know, and I hope the prosecution does run it by her, and, you know, sometimes I wonder if she's going to reconcile in her mind that, you know, forgiveness is somehow what she needs to do, and so she's going to say, let him get up on the stand, but I was thinking about that if he got up on the stand, just hypothetically, and it was the idea that, okay, he's going to explain everything that happened that we don't know and everything that led up. And so, well, let's say that the prosecutor said, well, we want to make sure he doesn't get up there and try to misrepresent the situation and make himself look like a victim.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if I was doing it, I would have a 3-day hearing where he sits up there and he can't do the why he felt compelled to do it stuff. He just has to fill in, okay, this is how I planned it, and then discuss, like, you could even be like, okay, so you were standing, where'd you go out after you did that? Where'd you go after this? Okay, so where did you park your car? What'd you do? And just go for 3 days going over all of the stuff, you know, even bring up, you know, you can still bring up your, I mean, I don't know, it might have not even take 3 days, you know, because really you can tell the story in an 8-hour period, honestly. Like, you just, the DNA, like the DNA evidence and stuff becomes moot because you're saying, yeah, I screwed up. I left the screwdriver up on the roof. I meant to use a screwdriver to take apart the rifle in the woods and put it down the pants of my jeans. But when I got there, I was like, where the hell is it? I was patting my pockets going, where the hell's my screwdriver? I couldn't find it. So then I decided to just roll it up in the same black towel that I hit it with into the bushes. But and then I left. And then I thought I could just go back later and get it, but there was cops all over the place, so I couldn't, you know. If he just went and explained it all like that, from the very beginning, though, when did you plan this out? Okay, did you actually go to campus a week before? That would have been cool if they'd asked Twiggs about, was there a day that he took off again, like a week before? But, you know, because we have that one witness saying that they saw a person that looked just like Tyler Robinson go over the fence and go to the edge of the roof a week prior, right? So it'd be cool to know, okay, did you go there a week prior? Okay. And I wonder if they're going to show stuff like that at trial, because they should have been able to get that if it's only a week or so old. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it, to see a guy do that on that same camera like a week earlier that looks sort of similar, that hops over the fence and walks out there, but you can't really see it. I don't know. But, like, if he admitted that, it'd be great to add that in the story. Yeah, I was there a week earlier, planned it all out, and he discusses his earliest trip in the morning, what he was thinking about, what he did there, where did he go. The second one, he goes to Chick-fil-A, then he goes across into the wooded area there, then he leaves his backpack, then he goes on the campus, and he, you know, like, what were you thinking about? Like, what were you doing there? Why did you leave your backpack there? You know, go through the whole thing. And then you end up with an answer, and he answered it all. He admits to doing it. And then maybe he gets life without parole because Erica Kirk agreed to it. I don't think the prosecution is, you know, I think there's very little chance that there, I think there's not as good a chance of there being a deal than there is of it going to trial. Okay? I think this is going to go to trial because the prosecutors are not going to cut a deal with Tyler Robinson. If Erica says, you know what, I'm okay with that, but he has to, then there might be some wiggle room there. But I don't know, man. If there isn't any kind of Erica, usually prosecutors will discuss stuff like that with the family, because that's kind of where it comes down to. This case is so strong.
Sure.
Like in the Idaho 4 case, it's a strong case, but I compare that to this one. Man, it isn't even close. This thing here is like, you could eliminate 50% of the evidence in this case and have one of the strongest cases I've ever seen also. Like, what if you didn't even have the text exchange? I mean, that's huge. Like, wow, look at all this stuff. But look at all the other stuff you have. You have his parents identifying him. Twiggs identifies him. His DNA's on the screwdriver that's found on the roof. His DNA is found on the towel that wrapped the gun. His DNA is found on the trigger of the gun. His DNA is found on 3 of the bullets that are in the rifle. He knew, well, now we don't know. We wouldn't know what he knew what was on it because that was in the text messages. But that's still strong as hell right there. And his car's driving around with his license plate. It's just, it's crazy.
100% agree. 100% agree. And whatever is going to make Erica happy and give her closure, I can't imagine what she has went through with all of the taunting and the Candace Owens things that have been, said that she's had to endure. And, so the fact that there was other people almost making a mockery of this and that she's had to endure that right along with the fact of watching it happen and knowing it happened that day. And I just, I know what my personal thing is, and I've told you before, and that is that, under the pretenses that he went there under to do, that I think if you're going to want to dish out a bullet, then that's what you should get. You should get a bullet. So you wanted to give one on somebody who was powerless, couldn't do anything to defend themselves. Well, that's what should happen to you. You're in a position now where you can't defend yourself, and you get a bullet. And so I don't have a problem with that. But now if Erica doesn't want that kind of outcome, and she goes with the forgiveness route, and they're going to let the man live and be in prison, I'm okay with that because that's what she wants. If that's what she does want, saving his life, because that's really what it would be about, would be saving his life. I mean, that's really it, And
hey, hold on one second.
But I mean,
hey, look at that,
yep.
Chris O'Connell. Where the hell you been? We've been doing a trial for 4 days, for God's sake. Chris O'Connell just popped in there. Chris O'Connell. Isn't that amazing? It's like, I thought we were doing this trial for 4 days. I thought Chris O'Connell was gonna be, bam, she's into this case. And here she comes on the 4th day. There is another little bit tomorrow, I guess. And man, we're actually absolutely filled with trolls, and this not filled, but this one person on Twitter keeps commenting in here. Oh, I guess who was looking for you earlier, Chris O'Connell? It was Carl with the C on the earlier show. He was looking for you.
Oh boy,
he was going to try to get one of those things going that he does. Anyways,
yeah,
thanks
Greg,
for.
I think you've just done an outstanding job here. Just outstanding. And after I really sat and thought about things myself, I'm just like, yeah, it really was possible that Tyler could have pulled the wool over his roommate's eyes. Totally possible. And but it says a lot about who Tyler was as a person to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really does. I mean, you're being very sneaky. Imagine you have a wife, right? So imagine. Mm-hmm. Being really sneaky around the person that you care about, and I mean, that is an evil guy right there, and yeah, I don't have any problem if Erica says, because that's what I'm wondering, if what's going to happen is that the evidence is going to keep stacking up, and eventually the defense is going to say, well, we stalled this off as long as we can. We've bought you as much time as we could, and so, but we got to cop a deal now because the evidence is so overwhelming. So they go to the prosecutor and they beg for a deal, And the prosecutor says, well, let me
Ask Erica.
go over.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't say that, right? But you know that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And so he does, right? And Erica's like, no, I haven't heard enough, or I haven't seen enough, or whatever she says. But
well, that might be part of the negotiation for getting him to say. The only way that this case can be, this is way different than the Idaho case. This is a national, political, religious, and also just, a true crime case that's just of a huge magnitude. And this is one of those ones that needs sunlight on it. Sunlight's the best disinfectant. This one has to have that. There can be no equivocation on that. There has to be complete and utter transparency at the end of the day on this case by going to trial or having Tyler Robinson say exactly what he did from start to finish, with maybe a 2 to 3 day hearing where multiple questions can be asked over and over and over again. And, I actually wouldn't mind, to be honest with you, if he did say why, You know why? Because that'll show where the hell he got that crap from. He'll start talking about, oh yeah, well I saw these people, and then boom, it'll all get tossed back on. So it wouldn't really bother me at all. The only idiots that would be the other lefty nutters who believe in what he was saying. But I think it might actually be disinfectant on the why, where he got it from. That'd be kind of interesting.
Well, we know the power of the social media out there and the ability to brainwash. And for anybody who's listening to this chat who's new to Gray's channel, I'll tell you, it wasn't that long ago that I discovered Gray's channel, and it was during the Guthrie case. And I watched several other channels before I even knew of Gray's, and was deceived on those channels, was lied to on those channels, and eventually was starting to put it together in my mind that things didn't add up, and started looking for more information, and then I found Gray's channel. And so that's that. But I just wanted to put it out there that it is very easy to deceive people, especially when they don't have a lot of experience in, what is the nature of the thing that's happening. And true crime is one of those things that just judging on what I've seen in other places, people are easily deceived. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm betting you want to take more calls. So hopefully, if Gray's going to keep going, someone else will give a call. But yeah, I'm on the same page with you, Gray, 100%, and glad to see this. Yeah, glad to see this get resolved in the way that Erica wants. And, if we get to find out all those nitty-gritties, great, wonderful. And it would be good disinfectant. But
it would be. Well, hey, man, thanks for calling in. That's always interesting. It was good.
All right.
every time.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Have a good one. See you.
Yep.
Jason Bourne. As in Bourne Identity. He's the real guy. He is that guy, okay? Yeah, we got this lunatic in here on Twitter. Their brain doesn't work very good. They said, they won't put him on the stand. That would be stupid. Yeah, they wouldn't put him on the stand at trial, sure. I'm not talking about trial. I'm talking about if he does a plea deal and he's pleading guilty, that'll be a requirement. It won't be a choice that he has. It's not going to be Brian Koberger 2.0. This is one that'll have to be part of the negotiation. All right? And it's not like it's a trial. It's just he pleads guilty. And it'll be sort of like, I think it was Dennis Rader, right? When he had to go into court and say what he did and all the different killings that he did. I think he did 100. He tried to get somebody, he said, I'll match the next donation. And somebody gave 20, which was, okay, that was cool. Somebody did 20 because it was really slow. We were getting 2s and 5s all day long. And it's hard to get to the goal. I appreciate all of them because it after time it builds up. But when you get to the goal, it's easier to get the goal. Obviously, that's just how it works. So he sent in 100 matching the 20 that the person sent in. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, he just said, "Oh, here's 100." Yeah. I think that's what he was thinking that somebody might do or something. I think I said, pretend that they're. Pretend they're Chris O'Connell. And he's like, "Oh, I love doing that with her." He said, "That was pretty funny." Hey, thanks, Dr. Bo Hightower. Gray has been one of the only voices of reason from day one. Hey, well, thank you so much. Yeah, that's what, I mean, I don't know. When I think, okay, I've been there. I spent 2 days walking around that campus. I actually think I might, if they go to trial, I'm going to go back there again. Because now I need to film a lot more spots. I've been there. I've gone over the probable cause document, all the updates that have come out, and then this hearing, and it's just so solid and solidified at this point. It's one of the most obvious cases I've ever seen. What the heck? Chris O'Connell. I'm going to imitate Jason saying, Chris O'Connell. Okay, but I'm going to do it my way. Chris O'Connell. There we go. Hey, thank you so much for the 20 memberships. All right, look at all those new freaks popping up on the screen over there to the right. Crazy. So Chris O'Connell and Marty's Bar and Grill tonight have helped out tremendously. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's right. Matching him and Essentia. That's funny. Yeah, so we got this nut job up here. Let me throw these out here. So here's some comments right here. Highly likely Twiggs set him up and possibly works for the government. I think that's one of the dumbest comments I've ever seen. So let's see. Twiggs set him up and he works for the government. Why would the government take him out? Oh, the Israeli plot, right? He was criticizing Israel. But don't you think it's weird that your cult leader, Candace Owens, has said some of the most vile things you could ever say against Israel, and she's still walking around? You know, all Charlie was like, hey, I don't know about this. He was questioning things. It's the dumbest theory that there ever was. Then we got this one. Twiggs had a scribble pad. The handwriting that Twiggs left in apartment that his matches exactly the confession note that they can't find in evidence anymore. Oh, see, you're delusional. They have the image. It was burned in the trash. They have a partial portion of it, and then they also Twiggs took a photograph of it, and that's not his writing. So whoever told you they have this scribble pad, where in the hell's that information? Show me in the documents. Show me in one of the documents that it talks about a scribble pad that matches exactly. Go ahead. Did Candace tell you that? Yeah, that's what I thought. These people are crazy. You guys seeing these comments that I'm putting on the screen? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, are you guys even seeing the comments that I'm putting up there? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna zip through this again, you guys, for the people out there that I can do this in a pretty short amount of time. Let me try to do it without any video or anything. I think I can do it. All right, here we go. All right, he drives by right here at his Dodge Challenger, drives by this house right here at 8:23 in the morning, heading this direction. And then based on the timing, it just continues around like this, down the street, and then turns on to Campus Drive right here. And then it drives down Campus Drive and then turns right into the parking garage. Then when he gets into the parking garage, he goes up one level because this level is the same level as the tunnel. So he goes up one level and he ends up parking right there, right behind my mouse right there. And then from there, he goes onto campus, apparently walking over to the the area where Charlie ended up being shot at. And then he eventually heads back to the parking area, and he enters right through this entrance right here, because that one is actually a floor above, right? So on surveillance footage, you see him come around and then down a set of stairs, and then he comes down and he turns right to go into the center area to get back in his car, and then he ends up taking it down a level, and then he brings it out here at 9:32, 9:33 in the morning. And then from there at 9:33, he drives it around, and I think this is speculation on this part, that he parked it somewhere right around in here by like 9:40, because at 9:57, he's seen walking right here with this maroon shirt, walking in this direction, coming around. Takes 10 minutes to walk from there all the way around like this, and then down this street, and then he walks by this camera right there at 10:08, 10:07, 10:08. Then from there, he walks, this is his dry run, he walks right there across the bridge into the parking area here, then goes into the tunnel at, I think it was 10, I guessed that, I think it was 10:12, but it's actually 10:09 that he goes in there. And he walks in there, and when he walks in there, he goes up, and then he does the same thing he does on the final run. So you see him go up the stairs, and he comes out right here. And I believe, I think I might need my note on that. So hold on a second. I think it was the Charlie Kirk preliminary hearing. Day 2, maybe. Day 1. Jeez. Not sure where I put that thing. It was like a text file that I had. There it is. So that was when he did that first run and he drove back. Yeah, he ran into two Turning Point USA people. So I forgot that part. So on the very first time he got there at 8-something, he talked to 2 Turning Point USA people, and then he went down to the area where he got shot, and then he returned to the parking area. And then on his dry run, he gets here, and then after he came out here, he walks over to this area where he went to the Chick-fil-A, which is actually a little symbol right there. It's inside that building, and he got some food. Then he sat down and he ate the food. All right? Then he goes from there, after eating his food, he walks out and he crosses Campus Drive over here and goes into the wooded area again. They can see it on that 360-degree camera. And then he goes into the wooded area and he leaves his backpack in there. He left it sitting in there. And then he exits, and then he goes out, and then somehow he walks around and he makes it into this building over here. And then he walks across right there, and then he makes it to here, and he walks out, and then he sort of stands right here next to this fence, and he looks out this direction. And then from there, I think after that point, he walks back, and he leaves the campus before, he goes down the stairs, and he leaves campus before 11. Now, I think he may have gone over here somewhere, somehow made his way up around. We don't have surveillance of that. But he was testing how to get that backpack out of the wooded area. That's why he left it there. So he was going to walk down. That's if he intended to leave the gun wrapped in the towel there. Now, if he just didn't take the gun because he wasn't able to use the screwdriver, then that's a different story. So then after that, it's like 11, right? So it's just before 11. And then he makes it back to his car probably over here by, let's say, 11:05, 11:08, 11:08, something like that. Then he gets in the car, and then he drives it right to here. and he parks it there after 11:10. The car was not there at 11:10, but it is there at 11:26, right in this spot right here. So it's there from 11:18 to 11:26 for sure, and Tyler Robinson is sitting in the Dodge Challenger at that time. Then, right probably around, I would say 11:38 or something, he gets out and he starts walking down the street. Now, some of these cameras, there might be cameras on these homes that pick him up walking. So he's just walking down the street with the limp. Then he turns right here. And then 11:45, he's spotted right there. And again, I'm saying that I believe that this is the Dodge Challenger, because it is a Dodge Challenger and a 2013, and it's right where in the area where you'd expect it. So the odds of it not being his are very low. So anyways, he's walking by here at 11:45. He goes around the corner right here, and he's walking. He goes by this house right there that has a camera on it. He goes by this house, and this is right around 11:51-ish. And then right here is where he turned onto the grass and made his little decision of fate, the moment of no return. He stopped, turned around, and he goes, okay, I got to do it. Then he goes over this bridge, walks into this parking area here, and then he makes it right to the top over here at 11:53, and he stands there for a minute. You know, not even that long, like 30 seconds or so. And then he goes through the tunnel, just like he did on the dry run, goes up the set of stairs and makes his way out right here. And then from there, he goes down into campus, cuts up right there, it avoids steps for a lot of it. And then he goes up right through there. And then right here, he has to go up a few steps. See that? Just one little set of stairs, and there's a really small set of stairs over there too. But then he's up here, and then he keeps going up this slope here, and this slope right here. So he goes right by the side of the Losi Center building, and then he walks on this sidewalk right here, all the way around. Then he goes into the Losi Center building right here. This is his final run after observing everything, checking to make sure everything's great. And then he goes in there at about 11 or 12:03 or 4 is when he goes through the door. Then I think at that point he goes out these doors right here, walks right over to there, and he watches from this position. Because if you look at this, watch this, watch. Bing! There it is. There's Charlie Kirk right there. You could actually hear and see if he was on stage, because he's going to wait for Charlie Kirk to get down and start answering questions, because everybody knows when Charlie Kirk sits in that position, he doesn't move again. Okay? He does not move again. So as soon as he sees that Charlie Kirk is starting to take questions, which I bet is like at 2 or 12:13 or something, he turns around and he starts walking this direction. As soon as he knows he's answering questions, he goes over there and he comes up the top of the stairs at 12:15. And then at 12:15, he walks right over to the corner here, now that we have that. He walks right over to here, and then he climbs over the wall at 12:17, after standing there for a little bit. Then at 12:17, he's on the ground there, you can't even see him, and he takes the rifle out of his pants using the screwdriver, and he put it together. And then the screwdriver was left right around in this area. He gets up and he runs at 12:22, so he was laying there for 5 minutes, and it's 12:22 and some seconds. He runs over to here, and he kind of goes down on this area, and he sort of scoots forward, and then from right there, he had a wide open shot right at Charlie Kirk, and he shot him. And then from there, he turns around and he runs this direction. He goes this way, and he runs around the side of the building here, right around the atrium, and then he sort of lets himself down right there, steps on that ledge, jumps. Then from there, he runs across this area, right across the street, and then puts the gun into this wooded area here. And then he changed clothes, and he either couldn't take the gun with him because he didn't have the screwdriver, he left it on the roof, or he always intended to leave it there. But either way, he left it in there wrapped in a towel, and he left. When he left, he made his way over here somehow, We don't know exactly how, but he's running on this dirt road over here, and he runs behind, and so we know where his car is now, so he likely came out here. I would say that this camera right here is filming him coming back. So he goes this direction, and then he turns left, and he runs up to, makes his way, he's probably not running, but he makes his way up to the car by 12:40, right? So the shooting was 12:23 and 28 seconds. I think he made it back to his car by 12:40. He gets into the car, and then from here, he drives over to this shopping mall, and he gets there at, Google Maps says, would be 12:45. Well, he was actually pulls in there on the surveillance at 12:44 and 50 seconds. So that's only 10 seconds off. Then he sat there for a couple minutes, and then 2 minutes in, he searches, and somebody sent me a message saying maybe he has one of the quick quack easy, like a little card or something, and he just looked for a quick quack around there because he had the card. I guess apparently in that state people do that. So at 12:46 he saw that, and then he drove over to the quick quack, which is right over here. Now we don't have any of the information like where he was from 12:57. That's what time this was. And from 12:57, I guess when he was at the quick quack also, they saw that he had a camera mounted on his vehicle. So that's interesting. Did they ever find anything on that? And then he went to a Dairy Queen at like 6 o'clock or something. And then the next thing that we have is that at 12:36 a.m. on the 11th, so the day after, so it goes way, the 10th is the shooting, goes into the evening, and then early morning hours on the 11th, we see his car pull up here. He's about to turn to the right, but he knows that there's cops over here because he sees the lights. So then he goes forward down the street here, and then about, so that's 12:36, and then right here at 12:47, which is 11 minutes later, he ends up here. So wherever he went in between that, I don't know, but it's only 11 minutes later. He parks his car facing this direction. Then we see him on camera, the door open up after he pulls over. He gets out of the car and he walks this direction. Well, it's amazing because if he walks that direction, all he has to do is go this down like this, and here's where the gun is. So that's what he was trying to do. Is he walked this way. He was going to go down there, and remember how he said, I got close to him. If there was somebody there, they probably would have. So he was close. He just didn't do it. Then he goes back to the vehicle. And then, obviously he's texting Twiggs during this whole time. He's sitting right here. That's when all those text messages were generated, basically. Not all of them, because it started at 11, but a lot of them were right here. And he even says, man, I'm not going to be able to get it. And that really sucks. And then he took off. But while he was sitting here, at 1:33, he's using Google Maps, and he looks how to get back to his house all the way down in St. George. And then at 1:35, he takes off after getting that loaded up onto his phone. I mean, that's one of the most simple, it's all right there. Okay? It's not like, Gray, you're saying he possibly, I'm just trying to fill in some of the, the gap areas, because you don't always have somebody on camera, but all the things that have pins and so forth are moments in time. I don't know 100%, like when he ran over here, did he run up all the way down this street, turn right, and make his way back over? I don't know that. I'm just saying maybe he went this way, maybe he's on that camera, and he turned left and went that way. So anyways, I don't even know if you guys are even paying attention to that, but there it is. Tomorrow morning is another day of trial, or whatever you want to call it, the hearing at, it's early in the morning again, right? So I'll try to make it out there, but it's really late right now, so I have to go to bed here in a minute. All right? So I'm going to have to take off pretty soon. Hope you guys don't mind, but we've already been on here for 3 hours and 35 minutes after doing an 8.5-hour show. So today, I've been live streaming for 11 hours, almost 12 hours. And, the sad part is we've done sort of like what we would You know, like it was a good day. You know, it wasn't like, oh my God, you know, you think with 12 hours you're. So it was pretty good, right? But what the best part of the day was is that we did donate $500 earlier to the Gary Sinise Foundation. So if you missed that element, we did that on the earlier stream. I said if you guys get 300 in here, I'll donate 500. If you guys support the channel with 300, I'll donate 500 to the Gary Sinise Foundation out of my income. And that's exactly what we did. So we did that, and now we have this show here. So hey, we're making things happen, you guys. We're making things happen. Right? Yeah, that was cool. We do that kind of stuff all the time. Almost every month we do some of the mid-month donations just to make sure. Yeah, it went to, I think they were like severely wounded warriors or something like that. They had a bunch of different options. So, anyways, thank you guys. You guys are what make that stuff possible. Very cool. And without you guys, we're not able to do it. Okay, but by the way, I cover every case, you know, especially the bigger ones that have a lot of information. We cover it the same way. I did the same thing when Rex Heuermann at first with some of those documents, but it kind of disappeared in the media for a long time. And now that one, he pled guilty. They let him off. Well, I mean, I guess they don't really even have the death penalty in New York, right? Yeah. Very cool. Well, thanks again there, Chris O'Connell, Marty, Alley Cake, Wild Bill. You guys, okay, let me, I'll show you what I'm saying. So we had Cheryl Bullock, and thank you, Cheryl Bullock. You're always almost first a lot on the shows. So we had Cheryl Bullock, Wild Bill Wassman, Alley Cake, Wild Bill Wassman, Skeeters, Alley Cake, Carolyn, Betty Black, Richard Watts, Mindy Mouse, Joel Burnt, then Betty Black. And thanks, Betty Black, for your multiple super chats and so forth tonight. Very kind of you. And then we had Jessica Schubach, 78 months. I mean, man, that is 6.5 years of pure hell over here, right? Then we had 6 Kids UK, 63 months. She said it took a little respite, so she'd probably be right up there too. And then Alley Cake, Wild Bill Wassman, and then Skeeters. Then Tracy Von Brott, then Wild Bill Wassman, Alley Cake. They're like these tag team duo. And then Betty Black, 6 Kids UK, The Joey, G88, and Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. Doesn't say all that, but it says Dreaming Blue Skies, Sandy Beaches. And then Timothy Cecil, Betty Black, Wild Bill Wassman, Betty Black, and then we have Chris O'Connell with 10 gifted memberships. Then we have Dr. Bo Hightower, said, Gray has been one of the only voices of reason from day one. That was a nice comment there. And then Chris O'Connell then gifted 20 memberships right at the end there. So very cool. Very cool. I really appreciate it. And yeah. And then don't forget we had Marty's Bar and Grill. Okay. Sent some coffees in. And we had... hold on a second. Paulette sent me an email. That's pretty funny. That's hilarious. Yeah. Sounds like she has a relative similar to mine. Let's see. So Marty's Bar and Grill, and then we also, I think that was it on this later show. So anyways, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. I'm really tired right now though. My brain's about to fall out of my head. Much to the glee of some. Anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time. Well, let me do my I got to do this one first. Be safe out there. Where is that? Is it this one? Oh, the sound's not working now. Oh, well, I'm just going to reboot later. But anyways, thanks, everybody. We will see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Good night, Gray. Have a good evening.
Well, thanks, Mary Lou. That's really nice of you.
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that them there swamps.
No, it's not that them there. It's just in them there.
Gosh, Gray, you don't have to be so picky. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come.
Yeah, I like that one, Mary Lou.
Hey, thanks, Gray. Really appreciate it.
Oh, boy. All right. We'll see you guys later.